Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The beast of summer remains with us. Partly sunny, hot, and humid going through our Thursday afternoon. A couple of spot storms, but that's probably about it. 97 for the high. The record's 103. Warm and humid tonight. Spot storm 77 Friday. Do it again. Partly sunny, hot, and humid. The high 99, 100 degrees. Sunny, hot, and humid over the weekend. Each day near 100. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone.
Look, it's personal for me because Karoline is not just a colleague, not just someone for whom I have endless respect and admiration, but she's a close friend, someone I've got to know well, someone that my family has gotten to know well, someone that has really been in every way a source of joy in so many of our lives. Professionally, her credentials, her accolades, her achievements are second to none. Her job that she has performed as White House press secretary, the word exemplary doesn't even begin to cover it. She has served this president so well, this administration so well, this country so well, and very importantly, she's been a role model to millions and millions of young women all across this country, a mother, a family woman, a press secretary, a patriot, really in every way an extraordinary person whose role in this movement and this country is only beginning, and I see unlimited success and possibilities ahead for her, and we're going to continue working together every single day. Her story is just beginning. I can't wait to see what her future holds.
White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller, there speaking yesterday. This news broke during our show. Karoline Leavitt resigning her position, I think, is through the end of the month. It's kind of like, is it through September or it's through August?
I didn't see the date.
I think I have an article here on it from Fox News and Eric Mack. I think she gave her 2 weeks. Isn't that weird to be like, I'm going to give my 2 weeks to the White House, to the President of the United States?
It is weird.
Can I point out how much the men around her are supporting her decision?
Yeah.
Doesn't that matter? When people criticize President Trump and this administration, and pretty much anybody who supports them, which might be you, it's easy to stereotype the Republicans as not being the party of women. It's a huge talking point on the left to suggest that they are the party of women. But if you look at the highest, most pressure-ridden job in the land, the presidency of the United States, and all of the people around the president who are required to make that job a success, the press secretary is very high on the list for keeping things where they need to be. Because a press secretary goes out and says the wrong thing, you got a lot of problems on your hands. They could go out and handle a situation and really smooth over a situation, articulate the purpose, the policy, the direction that the administration is going. And Karoline Leavitt, are we sure she's 27 years old? 27?
Yes, that's what
As of yesterday when we looked it up.
When's her birthday?
Today was her birthday. I don't know.
Yeah, this is wild. She's got 2 kids by 27. I think that's incredible. I commend her for that and for not setting aside this idea, because you can't juggle both of these things at one time and feel like you're hitting a home run on each of them. You're always asking yourself, I'm giving everything I have to give, but more is needed. Where's the deficit? And, I have this job. And I'm always asking myself that same question, and it's not nearly as demanding, like not even in the same ballpark or league or sport as to what Karoline Leavitt is having to do. But I get asked to do things in the evening. I get asked to do things in, the morning before the show starts. I have to come home and I have to watch the news. So in a much smaller capacity, I'm trying to juggle. I've got 4 kids and a career and a marriage and, my responsibilities to my community. There's a lot to go on. And I have to think about those things. I will be honest with you and tell you I've been offered opportunities for jobs that would take up an enormous more amount of my time. And I turned them down because I said to them, I'm like, it's not my time I'm giving you. I'm taking time away from my kids. Now, if I'm not raising them any longer because they're up and grown, I might be looking for an opportunity like that. But for Karoline Leavitt yesterday to say she's stepping down so she can raise her kids, she's still going to be attached as an advisor to the president. He didn't kick her out on the curb. He gave a glowing commendation to her when he made the announcement on his True Social. Everybody who works around Karoline Leavitt is complimentary, but we all have eyes and ears. She's the most effective press secretary I've ever seen, and Kayleigh McEnany is a regular guest on this show. And she was incredible at it, too. She didn't do it for nearly as long. But this is an incredibly demanding job. Ryan, you made the point yesterday that this is like the time that these things start happening.
Yeah, it lasts about 2 years. I think over the last few press secretaries, you could see this pattern. And I will say that, yeah, she's been really, really good. She's got good material to work with. I almost, because we talk about Kayleigh McEnany and Sean Spicer, they were pretty good too. But I will say, this is a little unexpected, that I think Jen Psaki was one of the best press secretaries around.
That's a hot take, but that's a smart take. I don't disagree with that.
What the hand she was dealt was terrible, and she did some Rumpelstiltskin spinning on that thing.
I don't really know what that means, but it sounds good. And your point is well taken. And also, she was followed up by Corinne Jean-Pierre, and you're like, oh, Jen Psaki was good. It's just kind of the way it goes. Here's the question. The conversation for this moment is, where do they go next? I said this yesterday on the air. I've heard it suggested multiple times afterwards. I think it should be Scott Jennings.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Have you seen the Poly Market?
No.
Elena Haba and Abby something, I wasn't familiar with her, are the top two leading candidates right now, according to betting markets.
According to the betting markets. Yeah. It would be a regression in pay to what I would consider to probably be a significant pay cut for Scott Jennings to do that. This is really where anybody who's suggesting Scott Jennings, including myself, has to remember that this is public service. These people who are in the cabinet, who are in the White House administration, the staff, like, they're not making huge money. In conversations I've had over the years about the possibility of potentially working in Washington, D.C., or just different opportunities that I was made aware of, they always say, the pay isn't great, but the benefits can't be beat. So it's like there are a lot of things that you get from the job that maybe don't come in the week-by-week paycheck. Scott Jennings has talked about Senate aspirations in Kentucky.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that happened when I was in Washington, D.C. at the end of April. I was in the hotel room, and President Trump had a rally. And so that would have been 2020. It was 100 days in. So it would have been 2025 April. And maybe the president went to Michigan. I can't remember exactly where the rally was. But Scott Jennings showed up and spoke at the rally. And a lot of people were, I think it was maybe around when Mitch McConnell had announced that he was not running again. So maybe that was the purpose of it. But he's been open and honest about having those political aspirations. So what does he do next? Now, if you go and you become the White House press secretary, you're certainly going to get the opportunity to look in and see how the sausage is made. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to understand a lot. And I think you'd be able to take that and move it forward into a potential Senate campaign. But, or, something else. I don't know. But I also think if you are the press secretary and it goes really wrong, the goose is cooked.
Yeah, I could see
But I don't think he would do bad. This is what he does.
Well, see, I could see him running for Senate. I didn't know he had talked about it. I knew people had been talking about him doing it, but I didn't know he had addressed it ever.
I think he had said he was, considering it or so.
That's interesting because I could see him doing that. That's a career complete shift. But he's got a growing little Scott Jennings empire. I don't think he'll abandon his ever-expanding radio show right now. He's building something I think that is going to last. And a lot of these people, when they become press secretary, what they're aspiring to afterwards is what Scott Jennings already has.
Yes.
So I just don't see him doing it.
It would be, again, going back to my reminder to myself and to anybody who's considering this, it is a public service. It's
Yeah.
a sacrifice that one makes because they think that they're serving a good greater than their own personal interest. And both are fine.
Yeah.
You can't do the public service thing if your heart's not in it. You can't sign up for something like that and then spend the whole time complaining about how much money you don't make or whatever. You're not going to be able to fulfill that public service heart mission and do that.
The one thing I would add to Karoline Leavitt, Kaylee McEnany, even Sean Spicer to an extent, although I think the two females there were better than
Got
him.
a Dancing with the Stars green puffy shirt out of it.
Yeah, he got he had a long post career out of that. Is that them compared to Jen Psaki? Yes, Biden, gave her just the worst things possible. Massive inflation and the border and all these things that were happening under Joe Biden that she had to go out and spin to the public every day and basically just lie about. So in that sense, that's it. That is kind of her job, is spinning it. So in that sense, she did a great job.
She was circle back Psaki.
She was.
We'll circle back.
The reason, though, that Kaylee McEnany and Karoline Leavitt deserve much higher praise, even, I think, is that they are dealing much more with an adversarial press than Jen Psaki is.
The job is different.
The job is very different for different administrations. And so Jen Psaki can get away with a lot of that stuff, even though it was spin, whereas they'll call out Karoline Leavitt. If she's trying to spin too hard, they'll say, wait. And she's got to just deliver facts, and they're really good at that.
Well, I would love to hear people's thoughts on who they'd like to see next. I just think Scott would be so good at it. And also, there's a finite amount of time here. If you sign up at the beginning of an administration, you're thinking, like, nobody's going to do this for 8 years. But it's like the job needs to be done for 8 years.
Yeah.
This is 2 years of time, and a very consequential 2 years of time. So who will it be? I just think it's always been women.
It does seem to be, and that's who's leading the betting
Sean
markets right now.
Spicer was, I think, the last dude.
Yeah, I think you're right. And that's why I'm going to predict the next press secretary, hot take right here, Corinne Jean-Pierre comes back. Boo.
He should do it. Like, we just want to make a point.
I'm also predicting Biden running in 2028.
Running where? Where's he going?
I don't know yet.
Anyway. Yeah, so the YouTube poll for today, asking the question, I'm taking the pulse of you folks. Every time we talk about this story, Ryan, I ask you, I'm like, do people care? Is it just me that cares? I don't think it's just me that cares. I think it's a big story for a whole host of reasons, which is why I kind of listed it this way. Are you invested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark, transgender player storyline? Do you read the stories? Do you read the quotes? Do you follow it? You got to let us know by voting on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@AnnieFrey, @Annie, Frey. And tell us what you think in the comments. Brad's got his eyes on the comments. If you want to come chat with the show, you can chat with Brad. You can chat. I'm reading the comments too, but we're looking for an opportunity to feature you as part of the conversation here. And Ryan is on the Annie Frey Show text line. Are you interested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark, transgender player storyline? Yes, no, or more than I thought I'd be. So I'm giving you a little bit of wiggle room in the middle to say, I'm kind of leaning into it a little bit. The text line is 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. When we come back, our friend Hans von Spakovsky. Don't go away.
Today we are announcing the arrests and unsealing of an indictment out of the Southern District of New York, charging 11 individuals for allegedly overseeing an extensive, decade-long marriage fraud scheme involving more than 1,000 sham marriages between Chinese nationals and United States citizens, and then the submission of fraudulent applications for green cards. This is one of the largest marriage fraud prosecutions in United States history. This scheme was not a quick fly-by-night operation, but rather a years-long, multi-million-dollar cottage industry to criminally assist people who would not, or legally could not, otherwise become citizens of the United States. The men and women who facilitated this scheme were all naturalized citizens originally from China and one green card holder. Under President Trump's leadership, the Department of Justice is working alongside our partners at DHS to secure the border and protect American communities, something that was ignored during the last administration. Not only are we protecting our physical borders from unlawful crossings, but we are also preventing immigration fraud schemes that are just another way to skirt the immigration laws of the United States.
The Attorney General, Todd Blanche, they're speaking on this headline here. The feds have busted one of the largest alleged marriage fraud schemes in the United States history, involving 1,000+ Chinese sham unions. What's going on here? How did this develop in this country? Why have these situations been allowed to fester? Let's speak to our guest, Hans von Spakovsky, with us once again. Advancing American Freedom Senior Legal Fellow, former FEC Commissioner, and DOJ lawyer. Hans, welcome back. Happy Thursday. Good to have you back.
Well, thanks for having me back. Look, this indictment should not be a surprise to anyone. It was only a couple of years ago that the Justice Department, for the first time ever, filed criminal indictments against around 24 individuals in California who were running a birthright tourism travel agency. They were also being paid huge amounts of money by Chinese citizens to bring pregnant Chinese women to the United States on tourist visas, lying about why they were here in order so that they could their children here because they were pregnant. And all those people were convicted or pled guilty. Many of them fled to China. And if you look at the current indictment of all of these people, these Chinese individuals who are arranging sham marriages, some of the, I guess you could call them victims, paid $100,000 for this.
Oh my gosh.
That was the same amount. That was the same amount being paid in the cases from a couple of years ago, and all the people who were indicted in the California case were making literally millions of dollars to get Chinese citizens into the United States.
So let me ask a dumb question, Hans. I love asking these stupid questions, and you have such a way of making it make sense. Why would somebody from China want that American citizenship so much? What would they do with something like that?
Well, there's a lot of advantages to being in the United States, which all of us Americans know. But the biggest thing, again, I mean, look, this is an indictment. We're just in this phase of finding out more information about it. But in the prior case, many of the women, the Chinese women, were the wives of high-up communist government officials in China, and it was clear that they wanted these children born in the U.S. so they could, they would take them back to China. But then when they are older and have been properly trained, they could send them back to the U.S. society, frankly, to help poison our society. I mean, I hate to talk in such a general concept, but that in fact was what those Chinese tourist bureaus were doing. Why else would high-up communist officials have anything to do with it?
So who are the people who have profited? I mean, obviously there's the benefit of being able to access that American citizenship through the birth process. Right. But are there Americans who are profiting off of this?
Well, it's unclear from the indictment whether that's the case, but in order for them to be successful with this, they either have to find former Chinese citizens who have become U.S. citizens and therefore could engage in a sham marriage, or they could find Americans who are paid to engage in a sham marriage. There shouldn't be a surprise about this. There have been movies made about this by Hollywood of these kind of sham marriages that the only intent is to bypass our usual citizenship rules.
Yeah, absolutely. Hans von Spakovsky speaking with us right now, Advancing American Freedom, senior legal fellow. So the investigators, the feds, have now exposed this. What's the next step? And were they able to get to the core of the problem, or is there a lot more where this investigation has led?
Well, hopefully this isn't I doubt this is the one and only instance of this. These indictments were in New York. I have no doubt there's probably similar schemes going on in California, and hopefully they're investigating it. Also, hopefully, they'll be able to arrest these individuals who've all been indicted and get them in jail before they can, as happened in the prior case, flee the country and go to China. The other thing that they will be doing is these sham marriages void. Green cards, any citizenship that may have been voided, and all of those individuals are going to need to be picked up and deported back to China.
So, Hans, I want to give you an opportunity to tie this in. I think the president just signed a recent executive order in the Oval Office trying to end the birthright tourism situation. But the Supreme Court just ruled on the 14th Amendment, not in favor of what the administration was hoping to have done. Where are we on this moment in time right now about people who are taking advantage of our laws and using it in a way that subverts the integrity of the United States of America? Are we headed? Is there a pathway, a legal pathway, to resolving with new legislation or whatever it might be what the Supreme Court ruled against here this recent months?
Well, it's interesting you asked me that question, because I am just finishing a very long paper on all the legal steps the administration can take to minimize the effect of the Supreme Court's decision. He issued two executive orders. One of them was on birthright tourism, and it didn't really change policies. What it basically did is it told the Justice Department, I want you to make it a priority to go after and criminally prosecute anyone who's engaging in this kind of behavior. And, here we see this indictment. The other executive order was very interesting. It had to do with diplomats. And, the one exception the Supreme Court recognized was that the children born in the U.S. of recognized diplomatic personnel, such as ambassadors, are not considered U.S. citizens. But the weird thing about that is that for a very long time, the State Department has had two separate lists. There's one called the blue list, and there's one called the white list. One list is all of the officially recognized ambassadors and consuls. They have full diplomatic immunity, and their children born here are not considered U.S. citizens. But the second list are people who work in embassies, aren't given full diplomatic immunity. They may have some, and who the State Department has now said for years, no, their kids, if born here, are U.S. citizens. And in essence, the executive order of the president ends that distinction and says anybody here in this country working for a foreign embassy, their kids are not going to be U.S. citizens.
Hans von Spakovsky speaking with us. To wrap it up, do you feel as though the president, this seems like it's just not territory that you probably campaign on when you're running for president, that you're going to, take on maybe the 14th Amendment or the birthright tourism situation that exists here in the United States. But it is part of the larger picture of open borders and who's here and who's not. But ultimately, I think the biggest thing to me is we have a finite amount of resources that come from we the people that need to be provided to we the people. And when we don't have a definitive understanding of, who is here and who should not be here, that doesn't mean we can't help the people who are not here, but you just need to have some understood, agreed upon rules and regulations, you might call them laws, that everybody abides by. Is the president and this administration on terra firma when it comes to pursuing, refining the things that you're talking about?
Yeah, I think they've been on very good grounds. And while lower courts have ruled against them, I often think wrongly, they have won overwhelmingly, except for the birthright citizenship case. On all these other immigration cases that have made it to Supreme Court, they've been winning. I mean, just before their term ended, the Supreme Court issued decisions in 3 different immigration cases, all apart from the birthright citizenship case. And in every single case, they upheld the policies the Trump administration had put in and the way they were enforcing the law. And that's a good sign.
Hans, an expert as always on the issues. Thank you for being with us today. And we hope that I'd like to read that paper. I'd like to see what you're putting together, and maybe the administration will take a peek at it as well.
I will send a copy as soon as it's out.
Thank you so much. Hans von Spakovsky, have a great weekend.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Hans, our friend from the Advancing American Freedom, he's a senior legal fellow there on this issue. It's a big issue, and this story of 1,000 plus, over 1,000 Chinese marriages, specific, not because these are people who are, this is not 1,000 love stories, folks. That's not what we're talking about here. Taking advantage of a system that is set up maybe to be taken advantage of, and we got to do better. Hans is on the job. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to dip in here a little bit to the YouTube live chat poll. Are you invested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark, transgender player storyline? But also, I'm excited at 105, Buzz Patterson is going to join the show, and we're going to talk to him about the Air Force One decoy story. Buzz Patterson, if you don't know, is somebody who carried the nuclear football for the President of the United States. He's got incredible stories, a must follow on X, and a must listen to at 105 here on the Annie Frey Show. Don't go away. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. The phone number is 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Reach out to Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair and ensure that your basement is waterproofed once and for all. He knows that it's a big deal when the water is coming into the basement. It's not a phone call that you're like, I can't wait to talk to Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair to get this dang basement fixed once and for all. But he does know what it's like to provide that service for people and give them the peace of mind, that relief that they don't have to worry about that basement anymore, to give people their home back, essentially. The space in your basement to live in, to store things in, and to know that your foundation's integrity has been restored. Home Shield Foundation Repair and Matt Hayes are eager to offer you 24 months, 0% financing on the job. So if you're interested in talking to him and seeing what he knows, reach out to Matt Hayes at 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Give him a phone call. Tell him Annie sent you. You can find him online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
That comfortable setting to hang out where people know your name. Check out Lit Cigar Lounge. My friends at Lit Cigar Lounge are fantastic. Brian and Dana and Andrew and Charlie and Nick and all of them down there are going to get to know you by name because it is a family-run business in the Chesterfield Valley in the district. They've got an extensive selection of bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails and some of the best hand-rolled cigars from around the world. Check them out at the district or go online to litstl.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, to post on ZipRecruiter, get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy, weight gain, or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, are you interested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark transgender-player storyline? There are a few options here. One comment from, I'll read two actually, from the text line 314-241-9797 says no.
Okay, got
That's
it.
the first one. Second one says,
we don't even know what they're saying no to, but we'll just...
Well, we presume that they're saying no to the poll.
Okay.
But then right afterwards, a different comment says, I vote for Annie for the new press secretary.
Oh,
so
thanks. I guess that means I'll be done here.
I had to slip that one in there as well.
That was your text, wasn't it? I see what you're doing, Ryan.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to a promotion.
You're at it again.
It's not me, though.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be someone in connection with me that I
know this is radio, but
surrogated.
he's putting his fingers up with air quotes while he says that in the studio.
Yeah, not me.
Anyway.
12:36, which you still can't see. Hopefully you could hear it.
You could hear it in the me.
12:36. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for...
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So Ryan just gave us the YouTube live chat poll in, well, let's see here, about 20 minutes, if my math is correct. Buzz Patterson is going to be on the Annie Frey Show. We're going to talk to him about the Air Force One story and the decoy. And you've got Marco Rubio and Scott Bessent on the other plane. I was thinking about this last night. People are like, why would you put your cabinet members on that plane? I actually think it's probably line of succession stuff.
Well, J.D. Vance is next, right?
So. Yeah, but if they're taking out you don't put them all in one place at one time. And if there's a threat...
Oh, like don't keep them with Trump.
If people are questioning how much Donald Trump loves and cares for the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, I mean, the line of succession is President, Vice President J.D. Vance, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, President Pro Tem, Chuck Grassley, I think, the 90-something-year-old in the Senate, Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. I'm doing that from memory, so if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. I know you will. Does anybody ever talk about what would that make Scott Bessent? He's like maybe the fifth in line for succession, whatever, he's the second cabinet member. It's like the highest-ranking gay person, gay American, to be in the line of succession. That has never been a story. Well, I mean, if it has been, it obviously hasn't been picked up. A lot of people don't know that he's gay.
I didn't for a long time.
We found out, on the show. Yeah. But good. All right. Good for him. Live your life. I think you're a great Treasury Secretary. High five.
I'm just thankful they didn't put Chuck Grassley on the plane. Because he's in the line of succession, as you just said, too.
Yes. Is it Chuck Grassley? Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Is he in there?
Are you looking at the line of succession?
Yeah.
Let me say it out loud again, and then you can correct me where I'm wrong. President, Vice President J.D. Vance, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, President Pro Tem Chuck Grassley?
It doesn't say. It says President Pro Tem. I didn't get Chuck Grassley.
Maybe it might be somebody else. It might be a woman. Well, I think it was a woman when the Democrats were in charge. President Pro Tem. Then does it go to Secretary of State?
It is Chuck Grassley.
Yes. And then
yes, Secretary of State.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and then Treasury Secretary
yes.
Scott Bessent, and then Department of War.
Yes.
Pete Hegseth?
Yes.
Pete Hegseth's like, here's who we're going to put where. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. It's just a joke, everybody. Relax.
There's somebody on our text line who is very, very attracted to Pete Hegseth and makes it well known.
Is that also you?
No, it's not me. Golly.
I'm starting to think that our text line is just you getting your feelings out.
It's not, especially about that. Although he's an attractive man, I'm not taking that away from him.
314-241-9797. Text us things that you think Ryan would say.
Text us the hottest cabinet members. That's something Ryan would say right there.
Man.
So Buzz Patterson, a story that just came out today on Fox News. I saw this, and I'm like, I know I follow Buzz on X. He might follow me. He does. And I was like, I'm going to message him and see if he'll come on the show. I did that like an hour ago, and he got back to me and said, yeah, I'd love to come on the show. Spent 5 years at Scott Air Force Base.
Oh, that's cool.
I go, and I said to him, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Our producer lives in O'Fallon. He goes, lived in O'Fallon for 5 years. So
I heard you having that conversation. I didn't realize it
voice
was with
to text,
him.
Buzz, yeah.
Okay,
So let me tell you a little bit about his take on this, because we're going to speak to him in about 25 minutes right here on the Annie Frey Show Live. A retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel who carried the nuclear football for former President Bill Clinton says the extraordinary Air Force One shell game departing is it Ankara or Ankara? Whatever, Turkey.
Ankara.
We could just go with Turkey. But we don't even say Turkey like that anymore.
No, what do we say? Turkey?
Turkey?
Is that really right? I just made that up.
It's like Turkey.
Turkey.
Turkey, last month to protect Donald Trump from a potential attack was hardly unprecedented. So here Colonel Patterson says, it was brilliant. I wish I had been a part of it. That's how well it was done. But Patterson is warning that exposing the vital national security secrets behind such operations could put presidents, military personnel, and the White House press corps in danger for years to come. This is what I said yesterday. We don't even know what the actual threat was to the president of the United States. Like, we don't know. We found out, I think, later that maybe there was a surface-to-air missile concern that was existing. But what was the full extent of the threat? I said this yesterday. I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to ask Buzz Patterson this at 105. How much does the public really need to know about these things? And should we really know about any of it? Does the world need to know that the president can be vacated from Air Force One on a catering truck to another plane to ensure his safety? Because it worked this time, but it can't be done again.
Right. Yeah,
Now,
we're going to go after the catering truck next
It's going to be like the Mexican hat dance, where after every time the plane is about ready to take off, you're going to have 30 catering trucks get off, and you're just going to have to follow the one with the red hat on it.
They're going to go, well, we'll go after the catering truck. If we don't get the president, we'll get the roast beef carver.
It's like there's no lose here. But how interesting to know from somebody who has been, like, if you're carrying the nuclear football, that's a pretty intimate, which is not really probably the best way to refer to it, as being President Clinton's football carrier. But you know some things, you've seen some things. And honestly, I think the reason that I followed Buzz Patterson on X first is because he talks a lot about the Clintons. Because the man's seen some things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a must follow. He'll be with us at 105. You got a couple YouTube comments here on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat on the question, are you invested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark transgender player storyline? Yes, no, or more than you thought you'd be. I'm watching the news, and I'm trying to see how many people are reacting to this story, and there just seems to be it seems to be something that is definite water cooler talk. There are more people who will talk about culture and the politics associated with what's going on in the WNBA than are going to sit and talk about, did you hear that the Democrats and Chuck Schumer agreed to a continuing resolution for the budget? Like that, nobody's talking about that.
I was just talking about that at the water cooler with
but nobody was there to talk with
my
you.
friend Erin from sales.
I like Erin.
I do too.
I was with her this morning.
I was like, did you hear about the new continuing resolution? She was like, dang, and we high-fived.
You didn't. That's a lie.
Okay, fine.
Brad, the YouTube live chat poll, give us some thoughts from the YouTube chat.
Chris says, I care more than I thought, but it's more because the left is imploding on itself and showing themselves as hypocrites yet again.
I gave that option because I think that's going to win.
There is one from the text line that I've highlighted here. It says, I was starting to get interested in the WNBA. And he or she says, if the WNBA had just continued to let Sophie and Caitlin play the roles of player and protector in a way, I think they would have seen the league build more and more success. As soon as they played the blatant race card and gender dysphoria, I lost all interest.
So
That's
you're
a
less
take.
interested now
Yeah.
because of the bologna sausage that's taking place.
So they had been captivated by it and now are moving away from it because of that stuff.
You got another YouTube chat here?
Yeah, this one's from Dirk. Dirk says, I chose more than I thought I'd be. Intrigued by the ignorance of those who believe biological men should play in sports against biological women.
All right. Well, keep them coming. I'm going to be honest. If we get an 80% no on this, I'm probably done talking about it on the air. If there's a mix between yes and you're getting more interested, that kind of gauges where I feel we need to be on the show. But granted, it's a slice of our audience. It's not everybody. So text us at 314-241-9797 and vote in the poll. Come subscribe to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'd love to have you be part of our little family over there. Let's take a quick break. Wiggins America next. This is the time of day where I read the topic for Wiggins America for the first time live with you. Wiggins America, body language that makes you instantly unlikable.
That's right.
This is a diary, a dear diary.
Well, it's an invitation to watch the live stream for
Okay.
sure.
Who has the most uncomfortable body language in here?
Tell us.
You?
No, this is part of the conversation. I'm not going to tell you right
All
now.
right. Well,
it's
let's
the tease.
Let's get it right when we come back here. Wiggins America next. Don't go away.
And what does America mean to me here on our 250th birthday? The future of Western civilization. The future of human liberty. That is what is at stake in our world right now.
America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
You've pictured it, the garage door that finally makes your home look the way you want it to. And now get $500 back on a qualifying garage door with the Overhead Door Home Refresh Rebate. Qualifying purchase must be made by September 13th. Let Overhead Door Company of St. Louis upgrade your curb appeal and get you up to $500 back. Schedule a free estimate at overheaddoorstlouis.com. Select models. Rebate paid as a Visa prepaid gift card. Restrictions apply. See website for full terms.
The Annie Frey Show is
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're taking your thoughts, your questions there on the YouTube live chat poll. We're asking you how much you really care about all this WNBA stuff. I am interested to see if there's an overwhelming interest or disinterest. So we're gonna continue to follow that story here and report on it. But if you guys hate the story, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, these are body language cues that you may be giving off that make you unlikable.
Okay.
So you're going to want to avoid these things if you want to be liked. If you're trying to avoid people, maybe you do them.
You think you're a likable guy?
Heck yeah.
Just by the way you move your body?
Well, the way that I speak so confidently about everything. Even if I have no idea what I'm talking
No
about.
lies detected?
Love that.
Yeah, don't people love that?
They love
They just
it.
love being reassured
great.
that you believe
in your
in
confidence?
It. Yes.
They love being reassured
It
that
is.
you believe in you.
That guy really believes the earth is flat.
He thinks he knows what's going on.
What a neat guy.
I love his optimism.
All right. These are ways in which you might be putting people off without knowing it through your body language. The first one is the most uncomfortable one to talk about, so I apologize ahead of time, but we have to get out of the way because it's number one. It is eye contact. And the reason it's uncomfortable is because the minute you start talking about it is when you start thinking about it, and then you can't do anything for the rest of the day because you're thinking about your eye contact the rest of the time.
Well, I'm not.
So I'm sorry, Annie. I'm over here. Eyes up here.
Oh, crap. I make Ryan walk around with a censored sign that's the size of his whole body.
That's right. I walk around in one of those old barrels.
It was an HR thing.
A
barrel.
It says,
No, it was a 97.1 FM talk sign, if I recall.
I went into AI and had them write a country song about being so poor you have to wear a barrel.
Ryan!
And it was fun. It was a really good song. I liked it. So failure to maintain eye contact can suggest dishonesty, lack of confidence, or nervousness.
Mm-hmm.
It can also signal
Especially
that
in
you...
kids.
Yes. It can also signal that you aren't interested in the conversation or that you have somewhere else better to be.
There's a weird time in parenting where you're like, if my kid's going to succeed in the world, they need to understand all of their tells. But you don't want to tell them too soon. You need those.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. We're there. So that's the first one, and it's a pretty obvious one. The second one is avoiding facial expressions entirely. Now, I don't really know people that do this, but it's number 2 on the list.
So listen, I actually can do this to try to be kind of, I don't know if stone face is correct, but I have a very expressive face. I can say a lot more with my face than I say with my words.
Yeah.
But I've been made aware of that significantly. So I would say professionally, I would say maybe 70% of the time, if I'm emoting, it's intentional. Like it's an active thing that I'm letting through.
You're thinking about it.
I try to be like, I have learned to make my baseline be very, and also I've talked about this before, but I'm not an at-rest smiler. I don't know that if I have the RBF thing going on entirely, but I have learned, like if I'm walking around the store, just picking up things, everybody's in their own little world and you're just intersecting with all of these strangers or whatever. I have actively trained myself to go around with a little bit of a smile on my face, or at least an intentional non-scowl, and it makes people happier.
Yeah, it does. It's important.
It's weird. It's not this like maniacal smile where I look like I should be, committed.
That's the way I look when I sleep.
Oh.
It's weird. You said you don't have a smile when you're resting. I do.
Oh.
It's a giant grin while I'm asleep.
Oh.
It makes the CPAP tough.
That's what everybody says about their CPAP.
Yeah. I just smile too much in my sleep. Doctor, help me.
You're smiling now because you're asleep. And so are the people around you.
Stupid. What a weird problem. I wonder if a CPAP doctor's ever heard that. I just smile
It's
too
not
much.
really, Ryan, your body language just gets you instantly unlikable. It's your brain. It's your weird fantasies.
It's your entire life. Not the last one. Sorry, the next one. Number 3 is mirroring. Now, this is odd. Have you ever seen somebody do this?
Yes.
It's not real common, but when you see somebody do it, it is a little off-putting to have a discussion with them. It's when they are doing or standing the exact same way as you are. This can be picked up through language, too.
Is this an intentional thing people do? Or
No.
is it an unintentional?
It's an unintentional. Well, for the most part, it
So
would
like
be
if you're standing
unintentional.
with your arms crossed and you're kind of back on your right hip, the other person does the same thing but on their left hip because they're mirroring you?
No, I don't know if it's mirror opposite or the same thing in general, but it's just them doing the same thing as you. It's viewed as an empathetic way to connect, but if it's over the top, it becomes...
Someone bends over to tie your shoes.
Like, yeah, you
pretend that you need to tie your shoe too.
You notice, what is it? There's like a word for it when it's in language. It's like code talking or something.
I don't know what it is, but like, have you
Code
ever
switching.
Switching,
Code-
that's more
what it is.
racial,
Yeah.
racially based.
Yeah, but it can be applied to any accent if you start doing it a little bit.
Politicians do it all the time, and if you want to point to the Democrats who do it, I'll point you a Republican who's done the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever had somebody that kind of mouths your words as you're talking to them?
Like you're saying a script and they
No, I
already
just
know it.
punched him in the face
Oh
after
my
I saw
gosh,
that.
I hate that.
I've never seen that.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
Boy, that is really weird. Like Pee Wee Herman did in Pee Wee Herman's
but
Big
it's just,
Adventure.
it's real subtle, but you can see him talking along with you as you're talking.
Next one is slouching. This one's pretty obvious.
I'm so bored.
If you look like
I'm so
you're not
disinterested
interested
in what you're talking about.
Yeah, you just don't look like you're engaged with the world at all.
Mm-hmm.
The next one would be crossed arms. I wouldn't have thought about this one much.
I
but-
like to cross my arms. I'm comfortable when I do that. And I have to uncross my arms actively, regularly in certain situations because I'm like, this, I know what this looks, it's not like, that's not it. There are times where I'm almost going to be like, can I just cross my arms? Would you be okay with that? But that would be super weird.
I don't cross my arms, but I do this a lot. And I don't know if it's...
Can you explain to the people, including me, who can't see
what
this is?
I'll show you as I do it. I'll show you.
This, what?
It is like this.
Explain.
Putting my hands, like my fingers crossed between each other.
Like you're praying.
Like that. But then on my head. So I've got my hands on my head at the same time.
I've done that.
And I sit like this, like comfortably all the time. But I feel like if I'm in meetings or anything, it looks like I'm just slacking. Like I'm not paying attention.
It looks way too casual.
It looks too casual.
For a more formal conversation.
Yes.
But like if you and Brad were having a conversation, you did that, you guys are just talking.
It would be no big deal.
Yeah.
But I know that there are situations
If you do that
where
to Trisha, that's how you get fired.
If I see, oh gosh, I know. She's
know.
so strict.
She wrote you up that one time.
I don't like her.
Oh. Annie, are you okay? Hosted by Trisha at 2:30.
Oh,
she
crap.
sits next to Ryan.
Oh,
so
it's Thursday.
Be here for that.
The next one is fidgeting. If you are constantly fidgeting, somebody told me this about popping my knuckles. I do it all the time, and it looks like I'm nervous, but I just like popping my knuckles. Feels good.
It does look nervous.
Just like popping my knuckles.
I just like popping my knuckles. Constant movements like tapping your fingers, bouncing your legs, or playing with objects can indicate anxiety or a lack of focus. That's got to be tough if you have ADD. Like, that's something that if people have ADD, they're just doing something so they can focus better with their hand. It kind of like takes the movement away. Let's see. How many more? 2. There is exaggerated or aggressive gestures. It seems a little bit over the top to me, but I guess big facial expressions, hand gestures can be a turnoff if you're like too in people's faces.
You know who? I'll tell you one. Gavin Newsom.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Those hand gestures I'm just watching them. Not listening. I'm
now
watching.
It's been pointed out. You can't watch anything else.
Fruit Ninja expert, John Kasich.
The last
That's
one.
the only thing I remember other than he won't quit.
You're not going to believe this, but we did this hour. The last one is if you use air quotes.
No. It's like, I'm not saying what I mean. All right, we'll be back with Buzz Patterson next.
I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
I'm excited about the next Funny Bone show that's coming to the Funny Bone this weekend. Why? Because it's going to stop by the Annie Frey show on Friday 1st. These are always fun. Joe DeVito, he's back in town. He's our friend here on the Annie Frey show, of course, but we are excited to welcome in Friday. Is it 12 o'clock hour, Brad?
Yep, 12 o'clock hour.
Joe DeVito will be in studio with us. He talks about relationships, his Italian-American family. Current events, of course, are on the subject as well, but he'll be at the St. Louis Funny Bone here. Let me make sure. He's at the streets of St. Charles, Thursday through Saturday. So go run and get your tickets right now. stlewisfunnybone.com. That's stlewisfunnybone.com. Plus, you can see Brendan Eyre is going to be in town as well at the Funny Bone. All the information you need for any shows coming to St. Louis to entertain at the Funny Bone, you can get those details at stlewisfunnybone.com. And I cannot stress enough how much fun you're going to have. Go see Joe DeVito, get your tickets online, and make sure you listen to him here on the Annie Frey Show on Friday. stlewisfunnybone.com.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's
Heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The beast of summer remains with us. Partly sunny, hot, and humid going through our Thursday afternoon. A couple of spot storms, but that's probably about it. 97 for the high. The record's 103. Warm and humid tonight. Spot storm 77 Friday. Do it again. Partly sunny, hot, and humid. The high 99, 100 degrees. Sunny, hot, and humid over the weekend. Each day near 100. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Welcome back. Thursday afternoon here in St. Louis. I think the temperature is starting to come down a little bit, but it's still blazing hot. It's August in St. Louis. What do you expect? I've been watching this story. We covered it yesterday. It was part of our poll question that we asked our audience, which was, should the decoy plane still have taken off? There was a lot of hubbub about the president switching planes in Turkey because there was a threat on his life. And people said, how could he get on that plane? And it seemed like the press was saying this a lot. And the press has to get on the other plane. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also on the plane on the original plane that the president vacated. Plus, they have said lately that there were some extra fighter jets accompanying and securing the safety and security of the original Air Force One. Well, I'm excited to welcome onto the show our next guest. Buzz Patterson joins us, retired Lieutenant Colonel Buzz Patterson, Red State columnist, former Air Force pilot as well, a former White House military aide. And here's the coolest thing ever, former carrier of the nuclear football. Buzz, thanks for being on the show with us. It's great to have you here.
Hey, Annie, and it's also one thing you can add is former Fallon, Illinois resident, and hello, St. Louis. I miss you guys.
Oh, amen to that. We're talking with you a little bit before the show. You said that you spent 5 years at Scott Air Force Base, so you already know about those hot August summers here in the Midwest.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was a St. Louis Cardinals ticket holder and the Blues as well, and had a wonderful time. And that was pre-White House, so I was just a young Air Force pilot having a heck of a good time in St. Louis. And, getting to the story, for your listeners, I was President Bill Clinton's Air Force military aide. So I worked in the White House, lived in the White House, and carried the nuclear football for 2 years for President Clinton. And we had all the same. One of the things that's really outraged me, Annie, is we had all the same programs in place. We've had all these programs in place for decades. And these programs, the same programs that protected President Clinton, are the same programs that protected President Bush, President Biden, President Obama, and President Trump now twice. I mean, this is nothing new, Annie. And we've been doing this for a long time. And the outrage has really, I think, placed our process, our security processes and the protection of the presidency and our republic, actually, at grave danger because of these leaks.
You know, I think that with someone with your level of experience, especially on the inside of how you take, if I can only imagine that Iran wants President Trump gone more than anything right now, that would be just the ultimate victory for them in the midst of everything that's going on right now. There is an understanding that if you're in the president's orbit, that there is a risk to your life at any given time. I recalled yesterday while we were speaking this, that a man who showed up to a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania is with us no more because he supported the president and he just happened to be within a specific amount of distance when a bullet was aimed for the president and it struck Corey Comparator. And I think that has got to be something that is understood by the people who are in his orbit. But at the same time, there's got to be an enormous amount of security measures that are implemented to keep the president and the people around him safe. And every time I hear about all these details and a lot of people saying we need to know more, I'm like, I don't know that we do. I don't know that makes those people more safe.
It doesn't. In fact, it makes them much more unsafe. And, when people talk about, President Trump, here's the thing. These programs exist, Annie, regardless of who the president is and the human being is. And these programs are not at the whim of the president, no matter whether it be President Trump or President Biden or President Obama. We have the same protocols and the same security procedures in place, no matter who the person is. The programs are there to protect the presidency and the republic and the office of the presidency, regardless of who is the actual person in office. So what's really alarming to me is the outrage when one of these programs is used to save President Trump's life, when we have been using these programs to save President Clinton's life, President Bush's life, President Obama's life, and President Biden's life also. And what's really going to be crucial in all of this is that if the media keeps, trying to pick and choose what part of the process they get to understand, then the entire process is corrupted. And what I'm saying is, somebody who worked on the inside and had these programs, I did it. I wasn't a big fan of President Bill Clinton personally, but I was there to work for the office of the presidency, not the man. And we had the same programs in place, and we protected Bill Clinton the exact same way that they're now protecting, the guys and girls are now protecting President Trump. It has nothing to do with the person. It has everything to do with the efficacy of our country and the government. And if we allow too many probes into what we're doing, we're going to have to scrap the entire process. And that doesn't make anybody safe.
Yeah.
Not the president, not Secret Service, not the military that supports him, not the military aid. It doesn't help anybody. It only serves to endanger our republic and endanger whoever happens to be occupied in the White House.
I was thinking about the part of the story where they talked about how the Secret Service told the press to close their shades on Air Force One as they were, I guess, departing or making the whole flight. And right. that was kind of highlighted as a key part of this story, as if there was some secrecy behind it. But I just finished watching The West Wing again for the second time through, and there's a whole episode where the Secret Service tells them to do, and I thought, if it could be in the West Wing in the 90s and the early 2000s, then something like this isn't, these are measures that are put in place for particular reasons. And, I would assume, how do you balance in your assessment of understanding the necessary security and, of course, the American public's right to know what's going on with their government? How do you balance where that line should be drawn as to what is the people's business and what is necessary for the nation's security?
Outstanding question, Annie. That's a really good question. And I'm going to put this in the most simple terms that I possibly can, is that the right to understand, the reason why this country has classified information is that we don't want everybody to know exactly what's going on, because classified information becomes moot if you allow CNN and WAPO and everybody else to get into it and know what's going on. That's why we have a classification system. That's exactly why back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, whenever this country decided that we wanted to protect certain information, we did it, and we've done it successfully until now. And that's what really troubles me. And again, it's not about President Trump. And here's the other thing that people don't understand, Annie, about this situation. President Trump, the president, no matter who he is, has absolutely no say in what happens in protecting his life. President Clinton didn't have any say. President Bush didn't have any say. Biden didn't have any say. When the president's life is threatened, there's an apparatus that kicks in, and he doesn't have any say anymore, because we don't want the ego to get involved, regardless of who the person is. We want the process to work and to save the presidency. So Trump didn't have anything to do with this, just like Biden wouldn't have anything to do with it. Right. It's not his call. It's the Secret Service and the military's call, and that's exactly what happened.
We're speaking with retired Lieutenant Colonel Buzz Patterson. I'm thinking about when I heard you say earlier in our conversation, you served for President Clinton, and, it's not about how your politics align with him. You served the office of the presidency. It's strange to me to hear you talk about how, the man Donald Trump doesn't have a say in that protection plan, which is the president, the man in the presidency himself having respect for the office of the presidency, which is bigger than any one man or woman that inhabits it.
Amen. And that's exactly right. And I think Trump realizes his role in in all honesty, President Clinton did too. He understood that, hey, boss, when we tell you you have to do this, you have to do it. And Clinton got it, and Trump gets it. Because at that point, they quit being the president and they started being the protectee. And it's a very fine line, and the Secret Service guys and girls can probably speak to this much better than I can. I was a part of the process, but I wasn't a Secret Service agent. So there's that. I was the guy that was in charge of all the military assets that would respond accordingly, which includes exactly what happened in Turkey, for example. The VC-25 that we had on alert, ready to go, is there by design. It wasn't anything that we dialed up at the last minute. We do this everywhere we go in the world, and we've done it for probably 30 or 40 years. This is not rocket science. We've been doing this, and it needs to be left alone.
Can you speak to the decision process or whatever context you can provide to us? President Trump has a threat on his life. He's removed from Air Force One. He's clandestinely put onto a different plane that is, I assume, been deemed safe, or at minimum safer than the other one that he was on. But Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, still on Air Force One.
Right.
What's the thought process behind saying this plane is not safe enough for President Trump, but the Secretary of State and the Treasury Secretary are going to be on it?
Well, in my opinion, it had nothing to do with the safety of the airplanes. It had everything to do with the decoy. So you've got to put this into tactical terms. The airplane that we had on standby, and there's always, just to take a step back, on international trips, especially to war zones, Annie, there's always a number 2 Air Force One for decoy purposes and for maintenance and parts in case the primary Air Force One breaks for whatever reason in some godforsaken country in the world. We have a backup ready to go. We also have the other assets, helicopter and fixed-wing assets, on alert no matter where we are, and all of those airplanes, every single one of them, is safe enough to protect the President of the United States. So, yeah, just goes without saying. I don't think the airplane switch was because of the airplane safety. I think it was pure deception, and it worked perfectly.
I love knowing that this type of stuff, that the fail-safes have 3 fail-safes that have 3 fail-safes, that all of this stuff is, and also that it exists in a way. I think it speaks to the integrity and the longevity of the United States of America to know that this office deserves this respect, and the people, the men and women who serve to protect this office. And it doesn't matter, like, gosh, how American is it to say that the people, we don't know how those people vote, but they understand and respect the importance of the office of the presidency and the other offices that are around it, that should they be filled with any man or woman that the Americans select, that office has the dignity, deserves the respect of that kind of protection.
That's exactly it. That's bingo. And it's not about the human being. Again, I didn't like President Clinton. I was there during the Monica Lewinsky and Paula Jones, and he lost the nuclear codes. I mean, there's a whole litany of things that happened when I was working for President Clinton. But every single day, Annie, I got up, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, my job is there to protect the President of the United States and the Republic of the United States, and I'm going to do that regardless of whether or not I like the individual or not. And I didn't like him, quite frankly. And I did it anyway. And there's a million of us out there that are doing that. So the Secret Service guys and girls, they don't necessarily have to like the president personally, but they have to do their job. And the military people that support the White House don't have to like the president personally, but we have to do our job. And that's what everybody does, regardless of whether or not it's President Trump or AOC or any other imaginable future president, Gavin Newsom. They're going to get the same protection. Believe it or not, we're going to give them the same protection, and nobody's going to say a word. And that's what really outrages me.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate this article that highlights the conversation you had on Fox News, and thank you so much for we're going to call you back, and hopefully you'll be available for us. I do follow you, I think, initially on X because of your Clinton administration takes. They are soup du jour, and I love them. And so I've been following you for quite some time, and it's a real pleasure for you, for me to be able to have you come on the show and talk to us here in St. Louis, which you called home for a while.
It was my home, and Annie, anytime, ring me up. I'm on the West Coast, but I'm happy to talk to you guys.
All right. We'll do it again soon. Thank you so much. Buzz Patterson, we
You bet.
appreciate your time. Bye-bye. That's exciting to talk to retired Lieutenant Colonel Buzz Patterson on X at Buzz Patterson. I bit my tongue so many times there. He was talking about the Clintons. Like, he just repeats, I didn't like him.
Yeah, he was very honest about that.
But he's got incredible stories. I'm pretty certain that he's got a book about his experiences there as well. So check it out. And I did not know until I messaged him a little bit earlier this morning on X that he's a 5-year O'Fallon Scott Air Force Base guy. And he just told us he had season tickets to the Cardinals. So maybe we'll have him back sometime. That'd be pretty cool. Buzz Patterson here on the Annie Frey Show. The YouTube poll, we're asking you, the story continues to be in the top headlines. WNBA, Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, transgender players, Enos Kanter, freedom, all of it. Is this something that you're invested in? Yes, no, or more than you thought you'd be? You got to vote at youtube.com/@AnnieFrey, F-R-E-Y, in the live chat is where the live chat poll is. You can comment there. You can also text us at 314-241-9797. We'll be right back in a minute. Don't go away. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, 314-271-9900 is the number. I talk a lot about the basement waterproofing services that they offer. They're tops. So if you do have a basement that needs to be looked at, if you got a concern down there, Matt Hayes, he's itching to come see what you got going on and offering you the opportunity for him to fix it because he's very, very good at it. He brags about his team. A lot of the Home Shield Foundation Repair team, they've been there for a really long time. He retains workers because they're great at what they do and they love working at a quality company, locally family-owned company like Home Shield Foundation Repair. If you have noticed hairline cracks in the walls, you might have a foundation shift taking place that needs to be restored before it gets worse. Call them at 314-271-9900. Even if you've got a cracked concrete shifting that's caused a trip hazard at home, at work, on your patio, around your pool, they can fix that as well. Call Home Shield Foundation Repair for your foundation repair needs at 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit.
She's full of crap. This is a woman that not only didn't defend her player in the Dijon Carrington thing, she didn't defend Caitlin Clark when she got throat punched in a game. She's Miss Basketball out of Indiana. She went to Purdue as a National Player of the Year at Purdue, a school in Indiana. Led Purdue, the Boilermakers, the women Boilermakers, whatever the hell they call themselves, to a national championship. She is on the Mount Rushmore of women basketball players ever. But now she's full of crap. Talked about, we're about inclusion. We're about blah, 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 blah. I don't know the difference between the biological difference between men and women. She's shown herself to be an idiot, and it's all on her. Not an online community. It's all on her.
Dan Dakich, with Outkick, right? Isn't he with Outkick.com?
Yeah.
Talking about and really just cutting through his thoughts on Stephanie White. Stephanie White is the coach of the Fever, and nobody knew who Stephanie White was until I think this week. We have the Dejounte Carrington throat punch or whatever clothesline of Sophie Cunningham. Everyone knows Sophie Cunningham. More people now know Dejounte Carrington's name because of what she did to Sophie Cunningham, which was really kind of Sophie's response to the whole thing. Like, some people just want attention, and the Fever are nationally televised. So when you play the Fever, people see you. She wanted attention. The YouTube poll for today: are you invested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark, transgender player storyline? Yes, no, or more than I thought I'd be. I didn't know. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that it was Stephanie White was the coach of the Fever. But then when she came out right after that game where Sophie got trucked and she made the shot, which I will say every time. When she came out, all she did was try to mute the aggressiveness of what Dejounte Carrington did and be like, it wasn't like that. She tried to kind of offer an explanation that would provide an excuse for Carrington's actions. Meanwhile, Carrington's in the locker room just, moments before tweeting out that all of the coverage of this was, all she said, her words, white privilege. So Stephanie White comes out and she kind of defends, sitting in between, is it Kelsey Mitchell? I couldn't remember who the other girl was, and Caitlin Clark at this press table. And she defends Carrington, and she says it wasn't, and it basically says it wasn't an ugly hit. When she comes out the next day, we played this audio yesterday. She talks about how she leads with love and grace and integrity and humility, and then she repeats that several times, and then she tells everybody, like, literally her words go to hell at the end of her, and she gets up and leaves. The mic drop is to everyone else. She said what she said. You heard what I said. So who is this lady? It's Stephanie White. The next day, I was going to play this yesterday, and it was a long clip. We didn't have time to get to it, but Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark came out and spoke about the Stephanie White thing. Caitlin Clark said she hated hearing the Fever fans booing Stephanie White. She said, she's our coach. Our locker room is fine. They came out and they basically calmed down people's frustrations, or attempted to calm down people's frustrations about Stephanie White. And they also talk about, like, wanting basketball to be basketball, which is, they keep saying, keep the main thing the main thing. Stephanie White's name is now known nationally because she couldn't handle the moment. She started making this statement by saying she didn't see the play on Sophie Cunningham. That, to me, is an entry into, you said this kind of yesterday, Ryan, that she was kind of like starting to offer an apology, like, now that I know a little bit more, I think I got that kind of wrong. Honestly, folks, her statement where she said that, like, she saw it was a flagrant 2, she confirms that it was nasty, that makes her whole part in this even worse. Because she didn't have the real information. What she says, I kind of have a hard time believing that. But her default move was not to protect her player or to defend her player. Her default reaction when she didn't have all the information that she said she had the next day was to minimize what Dejounte Carrington did to her player. I have played a lot of sports. I have coached a lot of sports. I have officiated a lot of sports. When you have a coach that will not publicly back up their player, even knowing you got no idea what conversation's taking place in the locker room, if you have a coach that doesn't back up their player, that is toxic and fatal. There's a lot going on with this story. I don't really have a vested interest if Stephanie White continues to coach the Fever. I don't really care. I just want to make sure that boys don't play in girls' sports. And I want the WNBA to be proud of the W part of the WNBA and say so, because that's important for the future opportunities that my girls are going to have. And I will add, I'm raising a son who I hope understands the difference of biologically men and women and his role in ensuring that he is a protector of people who biologically, physically might not be capable of what he is. The YouTube poll for today, are you invested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark transgender player storyline? Yes, no, or more than I thought I'd be. The text line is open, 314-241-9797. You can also comment on the YouTube live chat when you vote in the live chat poll. Ryan, you got some thoughts over there?
2 back-to-back, actually a whole bunch of them, but I'm just going to read these 2 real quick. First one says, you'd have to pay me to watch the WNBA.
That's not the question.
Right afterwards, somebody says, totally invested. You have a little beast hitting threes from half court, a 6'1" Midwest baddie ninja, a blind doofus coach, lesbians and dudes dressed up like women looking to be drafted, and a girl named after Mustard. Complete circus. I love it.
Girl named after Dijonay. Okay. All right. That really kind of sums it up.
It kind of, I mean, that's...
Can you understand?
That's kind of why I'm interested, too.
That first question, or that first text that you read from the text line, you'd have to pay me to watch the WNBA? That's not the question. That's not what the YouTube poll is asking today.
Well, they're probably saying no, then.
Well, well, they could be saying no to, are you watching the WNBA? But I'm not asking you that question. I said, are you invested in the storyline? So when you vote or comment, consider that I know that a lot of you care about this, not because you can't get enough layups and logo threes in your basketball viewing experience.
I guess that's true because I don't watch the WNBA at all, but I am becoming invested in this storyline.
We'll watch it at home if we got time and the Fever are playing. Because my daughter loves the Fever. She can tell you all about it. She's a basketball player and she likes it. She's invested in it. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want to like actively take that away from her, but I would ask the women in the WNBA and the people running it why they would want to take that away from her. Because that's the question ultimately here, isn't it? Go vote. I need your feedback on this question for my my sanity on how big this story is in the news, but also how plugged in you may or may not be here in St. Louis. Give us your thoughts. All right. When we come back, Dustin Grage is going to join us. He's, of course, a columnist for Town Hall. He's in Minnesota, and he was pushing hard for certain candidates to do well in the Minnesota primary. If Minnesota is on the map for Republicans, that's a huge national story. And we'll find out from Dustin Grage, who is about as close to the details on the state level in Minnesota as you can get. Next here on the Annie Frey Show. Don't go away.
Time, but timing is only part of it. Hey, it's Mark Cox, and I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, why is it still so important to choose the right realtor?
Simple. Not every home is selling fast or for top dollar. Here's the difference. I already have the buyers. With over 2,400 buyers in waiting, I'm not just listing your home, I'm matching it with demand. That's how I offer my guaranteed sale program. We sit down, agree on the price and timeline, and if your home doesn't sell, I'll buy it myself. But my goal isn't to buy your home, it's to sell it for the most money possible in the least amount of time. And that's exactly what my system does. My clients don't have to hope their home sells. I guarantee it.
If you're selling your home this spring, call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
Do you have burning, tingling, or numbness in your feet, hands, or legs? Is neuropathy making it harder to walk safely, forcing you to watch every step, grip railings, or live with the fear of falling? If you've been told there's nothing that can be done for neuropathy, that isn't the full story. At Comprehensive Integrative Healthcare, we don't just label symptoms. We evaluate the underlying factors that may be contributing to nerve dysfunction. Our focus is helping reduce neuropathy symptoms, improving balance, and supporting better daily function, so you can stay active and independent longer. Most people don't realize neuropathy often progresses over time, and when it worsens, symptoms can become more limiting and more difficult to manage. Imagine being able to walk with more confidence again, sleep without burning or tingling waking you up, and stop constantly worrying about your next step. Right now, we're offering a free neuropathy consultation to determine if you may be a candidate for care. Call now to schedule your appointment at 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188. Don't wait until symptoms get worse. Call 636-538-5188 today.
All right, we're asking you about Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark, and all of the storylines that go into it. Are you invested into this story and all of those stories? Our text line is popping on this, 314-241-9797. One person says, I watched my first and last game after that so-called foul. If they let men in, they needed to call it WWE basketball. And then I might actually start watching it again. 133. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a Top Republicans are very excited about this race and feel like Michelle Tafoya has the best chance any GOP Senate candidate has had here in years, because not only will Flanagan now be trying to sell her progressive policies to voters as a whole, she'll also be defending her previous calls to abolish prisons and defund the police, as well as the massive fraud that took place in Minnesota during her nearly 8 years as lieutenant governor. Here's Tafoya last night ahead of the polls closing.
Every voter I talk to is angry because the state is traveling about 100 miles per hour in the wrong direction. Where has that left us? Embarrassed. $9 billion poorer thanks to that fraud. Crime rates up, test scores down. Why would anyone think that reelecting either of those women was the answer?
So there you have Michelle Tafoya. I am so excited for the possibility that Michelle Tafoya might end up in the United States Senate. And you know what I hear from people that understand these types of things is they're saying there's a chance. Let's get to our next guest. Excited to have Dustin Grage on the Annie Frey Show, Minnesota-based columnist for Town Hall, providing political analysis, and research. And of course, at Grage Justin on X, Grage Dustin. Welcome back to the show, Dustin. I was thinking about you on Tuesday, and I feel like you had a pretty good night.
I had a great night, personally. I ended up calling all of the executive races correctly, as well as all of the local races in the state. Had a 100% record on all of it. So apparently the receipts were accurate throughout the night.
That's right. So let's talk first, since we were listening to Michelle Tafoya there, about that Senate race. I don't think that the Minnesota Senate seat has been calculated in the past as a purple, maybe even red seat. It's one that I think the parties expect to be blue. You throw a toss-up race there, or maybe even a flip possibility, and the whole map starts looking at Minnesota.
Yeah, and Tim Scott has actually already come out in front of this NRSC chairman who's in charge of looking at the map and seeing what's a possibility. He thinks we have a possibility in a map to 54 seats in the Senate.
Woo!
And he specifically names Minnesota and Michelle Tafoya as the opportunity here. And this, keep in mind, Annie, this was before Angie Craig lost this primary to Peggy Flanagan. Now, who is Peggy Flanagan? We heard a little bit of an excerpt before that, but Peggy Flanagan is the individual that was added to Tim Walz's gubernatorial ticket in 2017 because he was viewed as too squishy and moderate for Democrat voters. He wasn't palatable enough for far-left Democrats, so they added Peggy Flanagan. This is a true DSA-esque candidate, and while Peggy, I will say, she's a little bit more, intelligent and reserved in like how she puts her, which is saying something because she's done some crazy things, but she's not Francesca Hahn and saying, I hate Thanksgiving. She's a little bit more protective of her image because she is a political animal and she's decided she's going to run for statewide office one year. And this is now the opportunity where she gets to stand on her own. But she was the candidate that was able to get the DSA type people to vote for Tim Walz to make him the governor going forward. So this is how far left this individual is. I mean, she wants to abolish prisons. She wants to abolish ICE. She wants to have health care for Medicare for all. She's Bernie Sanders-esque. And yes, Bernie flew to Minnesota 3 different times now to go campaign for her, as well as Elizabeth Warren. So yeah, she's as far left as they come. And Michelle Tafoya, a very palatable voice of reason, has a real opportunity, because people have to also remember Minnesota, we were the ones that elected Jesse Ventura. We kind of like that star-esque candidate that can kind of break through a certain mold in the state. And Michelle Tafoya, I mean, NFL sideline reporter, we all know her very well, and she also has a very reasonable, palatable voice. She has a real opportunity to actually flip this state, right?
Yeah, I think, I mean, she's incredibly likable. Just on like a, back to, I don't know if I'm 42, so I don't know if this existed in my time, certainly not necessarily in my time following politics. But like, where are the normies at? Well, I think they're in the Republican Senate race in Minnesota. When you look at Michelle Tafoya, you're like, this just seems kind of natural and kind of obvious that the people of Minnesota, the Republican nominee, she's not somebody who I feel like the GOP is shoving down the throats to make a point to the people of Minnesota or to the country about what that Republican candidate needs to be. She seems like somebody who is genuinely understands what Minnesotans, the common sense that has been so lacking in their governance. She just seems so natural to the situation.
And also a really important piece to add here for context, Annie, is also the gubernatorial race that happened in Minnesota. In the past, I would say Republicans are entirely unserious about winning in this state, but that changed on Tuesday. Because for context here as well, the Minnesota Republican endorsed candidate has never lost a statewide primary. Never. Last night, 2 nights ago now, that candidate lost in 3 different seats. A majority of the statewide seats, the endorsed candidate lost. And in particular, in the governor's race, the endorsed candidate, Kendall Qualls, came in 3rd. And the Trump-endorsed candidate, Dell, came in 2nd, double digits behind in her corner from this establishment-esque style primary campaigns we have in Minnesota. And she still won with both of these aspects in there by double digits. Minnesota Republicans have never been more serious in their entire lives about winning statewide, and that really proved it for me. So when we go into the actual general election, we're going to see far right and middle of the road Republicans united, because they also understand that, and this happens to every Republican I talk to, frankly, is, well, we've already started looking at land in Tennessee. We're starting to look at South Carolina and Florida. We've already lost tens of thousands of Republican voters, and they realize this is probably the last stand. So they're very serious about the candidates they nominate. We nominate the best possible candidate in every single seat. And even more important, the Democrats nominated the worst candidates they possibly could have in every seat. So we're in a great position right now to actually upset the country. And yeah, all eyes on Minnesota.
We're speaking with Dustin Grage with on the ground in Minnesota with Town Hall, and just really incredibly plugged into what's going on in a statewide political in the environment there. And I think that when I hear you talk about Minnesota, you definitely talk about like the unique attributes that exist in Minnesota. I always hear things that are very similar to what I'm experiencing as an Illinois resident, but Minnesota seems to be a little bit further into a potential successful outcome here for common sense in the state than I think Illinois is positioned at this point. But it does provide hope, I think, for, we're such a red state, blue state. There are just fewer and fewer purple states that exist, that people are relocating. Red states are getting redder, blue states are getting bluer. So it really comes down to, if you want to flip something like in Minnesota, it really comes down to the passion and the turnout when that election ends up happening in November. What kind of funding, what kind of support financially from the GOP, from the big cats out there, is Minnesota getting to actually, I think it would be a clarion call for Republicans nationwide if we could see some success there, ground zero in Minnesota.
Yeah, no question. And all of the groups, I mean, we're talking state legislative national groups. We're talking about the attorney general's groups nationally, the governors, everything across the board, NRCC. I mean, we have Tom Emmer here also in my backyard of Minnesota. All of the groups are all in on Minnesota. We are a tier 1 target. And that's partially due with the map. Like a lot of these Senate seats, they're safe red. The Democrats are going after hard on some of these, trying to flip them, but they're viewing Minnesota as kind of safe, which is kind of funny. But yeah, we have a real opportunity. The money is coming in unlike it has never happened before. In some cases, the U.S. Senate, as an example, Michelle Tafoya, she's out fundraising Peggy Flanagan right now.
Really?
So that has never, well, it's happened one time. I always have to correct myself at the last second. It has happened one time in the last 2 decades. It was Ryan Wilson. He ran for state auditor in 2022. He came within 0.3% of winning statewide. Well, who is Ryan Wilson also? Lisa Dameth's running mate, the candidate we just nominated for governor. So we have a running mate who came within 0.3% of winning statewide on the ticket. And we have Michelle Tafoya out fundraising Peggy Flanagan as we speak. And we're bringing in record fundraising for our state committees as well. We have such a good opportunity here in Minnesota, and I'm just so optimistic and bullish going into November.
Well, I think it deserves the national spotlight. You certainly have it here from us as fellow Midwesterners. Before we leave, I think one of the things that made Minnesota the national interest story that it did is the many grassroots efforts that were invested in trying to root out all of the fraud that exists there. And then, of course, Nick Shirley came along and got us all Quality Leering Center hoodie sweatshirts to wear to kind of make fun of something that actually is a pretty incredible problem facing the United States. I just want to know, like, if when the fraud in Minnesota isn't the main headline story, is the effort to root it out and to squash it, to get rid of it, is it still full-fledged in the state of Minnesota?
100%. I mean, it's absolutely there. And even the internal polling on the Democrat side, Angie Craig being the specific candidate here, she did internal polling on how does the fraud affect the race in November. Candidate who lost to Peggy Flanagan. And the polling showed that we actually have a tied race in the U.S. Senate when the issue of fraud is leveraged against Peggy Flanagan. So as time progresses, those polling margins are going to close because the fraud is the number one issue. And I actually just talked to Nick a little bit ago. He was very happy about the results as well on Tuesday, in particular because David, we all know David, the guy who was with him, rooting out the daycare fraud, also endorsed Lisa Dameth. That was a big endorsement going into Tuesday. But I've actually got a couple things we're working on right now. We're going to probably get Nick back out here again before November. So expect more bombshells coming out of Minnesota when it comes to fraud. Not even necessarily Medicaid fraud, but, and I can't spoil it quite yet, but there's some big,
sure you can.
How do I say? There's a lot of groups that are working together, working against the system right now to help Somali immigrants get citizenship right now. So we're currently working on that investigation, and I'm actually going to be pitching it to Nick here once we get the full bit here and combine with some other Medicaid stuff. But expect some more bombshells coming out of Minnesota.
Would it be a good idea for folks to follow you on X at Grage Dustin, just to, stay abreast of these types of things that might be released to the people?
Oh, yeah. No, we're releasing all of it all the time. And we're actually working on a children's book shortly here, too, involving the election. So
all right,
stay tuned for that. I will definitely be posting that one on X.
Well, you cover all the bases, and I am so grateful that you're able to come here and give us that firsthand account. Of course, there's lots of articles I can read, and there's election results that we can cover, but I know how important it is to talk to the people who are doing that work and who are doing it a long time before the national news comes in and says, hey, this looks like it's a story. And Dustin, you're absolutely one of them. Thank you for being with us today. And the second that you're going to release that info, send me a message and we'll get you back on the show.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Awesome, Annie. We'll chat later. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Dustin Grage, follow him on X at Grage Dustin, Grage. Dustin's pretty self-explanatory. On X, you can also go to dustingrage.com. Must follow. I mean, Minnesota's got the right apparatus set up there to actually root out a lot of what is going on. And the more that it can happen there, the more the rest of us states can look at it and go, well, hey, let's bring that over here. Is it happening in Missouri? Is it happening in Illinois? Let's root out every fraud dollar that we can possibly get to. And let the taxpayers enjoy the benefit of the money that gets taken out of their paychecks as opposed to having it shipped to foreign countries, which is so crazy. So crazy. The Minnesota stuff, like every time you hear it, you're like, we're doing what? What they're doing? Huh? It doesn't make any sense. Great to have Dustin back with us. Let's take a quick break here. We've got Annie, Are You Okay? At 2:30 on the show. Trish is going to come join us. Ethan, Sports and Local right before that. More Annie Frey Show and your reaction to the YouTube live chat poll today. Are you invested in that whole WNBA everything story? Let us know what you think in the YouTube live chat poll. Keep it right here. We'll be right back. So let's talk about the Retirement Advisory Group. You find them online at retirementkey.com. And when you work with Bob and Tammy Kershaw to determine, like, okay, what's the timing here on our retirement? You're on the precipice of making this huge transition in your life. And you want to make sure you don't miss a single move that you need to make sure that you can be tied to the market and benefit in the ups, but not have to worry about the downs. Reach out to the Retirement Advisory Group and set up a meeting with them. It's not going to cost you anything. You just sit down and have a conversation with them at 314-993-9494 and listen to how they can help you. Listen to all the questions that you can have them answered so that that peace of mind in your retirement that you need to comfortably make that transition, it's then yours. It starts with a conversation with Bob and Tammy Kershaw at the Retirement Advisory Group. And they're waiting for you. Make sure you tell them Annie sent you. Give them a call at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Online at retirementkey.com.
If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit ThrottleNet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
How cool do you feel when Luda is on in the Ford Taurus?
Probably like an 8
out of
25.
Oh, I was thinking maybe it was going to be an 8.
No.
You don't get a little slouchier in your car and maybe just one hand on the steering wheel?
No, I tend to move my shoulders more, though, like this.
Ooh, nobody's ever done that to a Ludacris song before. This is a first here. This is a big day on the Annie Frey Show. I have to do this story, and I know you guys are the least likely to be interested in Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding, right? Am I right? Are you an 8?
Yeah, I mean 8 out of 100.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm always looking for other things to talk about on the show, and I'm happy that they got married. I think it's cool that they decided to get married. In general, I hope it lasts forever and ever. Amen. Eternal love.
They have like 20 kids.
Yeah, let's go. How old is she?
30.
Late 30s? Mid 30s?
I don't know.
That's probably.
It's right around there.
How about that? She could have babies. So this is not really about the story. It's about the coverage of it and the cheap way in which you put Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift in a headline, and here I am with it printed out in my hand.
Yep.
Here's the headline. Taylor Swift, this is from yahoo.com, Allison DeGruchy, whatever. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce reportedly facing, quote, reality of marriage amid report of their family fighting after their wedding.
Oh, no. This is clickbait.
Why do you say that?
Because now I actually am a little bit interested.
Because of the headline?
Because of the headline.
What are you expecting to get here? They wrote a headline because they wanted you to read it. They wanted you to click on it. What are you thinking you're getting when you click on it?
Okay, when I see the headline, if I'm going to click on it, I'm expecting there to be them like, oh man, they're confessing to friends that maybe they did this too soon, or they're having some fights they didn't expect. But my logical brain knows that it's going to be somebody who's closely connected to their pool guy said that one of them walked by and was holding a drink and asked the other one if they could sit down next to him. So some stupid nothing that they create into something.
9 paragraphs into the story.
It gets to the pool guy, right?
And I quote. No. While juggling their busy schedules, Swift and Kelce will have to make time to raise their fur babies.
Oh, no.
Cats Olivia Benson, Meredith Grey, and Benjamin Button.
Wait, the cat's name is Olivia Benson?
Yes.
One cat?
You're already more invested in this than I am. And their white Samoyed dog? I've never heard of that. The Daily Mail previously reported that they all, quote, get along, but gossip columnist Rob Shooter claimed that's not entirely true.
Oh, well, if he said it.
Insiders told Naughty But Nice that their couple's 4 pets have been feuding since after the wedding. The article is about cohabitating their pets. Their article says that their family is not getting along. Their families are feuding, and it's about cats and dogs.
Oh, man.
And I clicked on it, printed it. Well, Brad printed it. And now you know. And I'm going to clip this and make it a YouTube short and get views.
I blame the parents. And I mean of you.
Oh.
For being so
Sorry, Dad.
gullible to have clicked on a Travis Kelce.
Chuck and Debbie are like, what do I do?
Yeah, they
know.
They should have taught you better that when a pop star comes along, do not click. Do not click. Even when it was newspapers. Should have taught you.
9 paragraphs in. They talk about like Travis is getting back into the football thing, and she is happy to be married after a storybook wedding. Blah blah blah. Their cats and dogs don't like it. The cats and dogs don't like each other.
That's probably not even true.
It's probably not
They're probably
even true.
getting along.
They said the gossip columnist at Naughty But Nice or something. I don't know. I threw the article behind me. Literally, it's gone. Anyway, back to the Ford Taurus.
Back to the Ford Taurus. What's that? Oh, this song.
What's your vehicle?
What's that?
It's Ryan riding. I have owned 2 Ford Tauruses in my lifetime.
I have too.
They are very near and dear to my heart. I love that car. I don't even know if they make it anymore. But you just gotta. It's not about the car. It's how you make the car look. Like you're an accessory to the car. The car is an accessory to you. Ludacris comes on. You're a millennial. You just kind of naturally know what to do. Show us again, Ryan, what it is that you do. Oh, my God. What are their shoulders? I don't even understand. Annie, are you okay? Ethan, Sports and Local. Next hour. Keep it right here. We'll be right back.
If you need a new air conditioner or HVAC system, you can trust we'll install the equipment correctly. Plus, for a limited time, qualify for rebates up to $2,600 and 0% financing for up to 72 months. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Funny Bone, stlewisfunnybone.com is, we got Joe DeVito coming up here, and I really want you to understand how fun it is to go to an actual Funny Bone event. You go to stand-up comedy. You watch somebody like Joe DeVito, who you see on Gutfeld all the time. He's a writer for them. He's going to be in studio with us on Friday. You're gonna quickly understand how enjoyable it is to be among people and just genuinely to laugh and to enjoy that evening. You can go get something delicious to eat at the streets of St. Charles and then go over and catch a show. Thursday through Sunday, you got Joe DeVito here in town. All the details that you need to know, they're all at stlewisfunnybone.com, including Brendan Eyre, who's going to be in town as well. Get your tickets online at the stlewisfunnybone.com and enjoy an incredible show.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Mark Cox here. Celebrate the month of August with Zero Res. They're offering you 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $119. That's $106 in savings. You can book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of the savings.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
A possible new tool for ICE already facing pushback. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Electric shock gloves proposed as a way to help subdue suspects during immigration enforcement operations, avoiding the use of deadly force.
As we saw during the surge in enforcement activity over the winter and still see, ICE agents encounter plenty of resistance. So the glove, or generated low output voltage emitter, is designed to be applied directly to the skin to deliver a pain stimulus of up to 380 volts. The Kentucky company that makes it, Compliant Technologies, says it can help an officer gain compliance in seconds.
Fox's Mike Tobin.
Now, the ACLU has a different opinion, stating to Fox News, giving immigration agents a concealed means of delivering terrible pain is a recipe for more harm to the public and less accountability.
New York's Attorney General warning any injuries will lead to legal action. Homeland Security hopes to start using the gloves by next March. The man accused of killing healthcare executive Brian Thompson reportedly set to plead guilty in the federal case against him. The New York Times and the Post reporting that's why a last-minute hearing was called for Luigi Mangione tomorrow.
If Mangione accepts a plea deal, it not only cancels the January federal trial, but could also end his state trial set to start on September 8th because of New York's double jeopardy law. That's significant because the state case is where Mangione faces actual murder charges.
Fox's Brian Yennes, he could still face life in prison on federal stalking counts. A hurricane watch for Hawaii's Big Island, the first one in 6 years because of Tropical Storm Lala.
Just became a tropical storm at 11 o'clock Eastern. It's been out there for 4 or 5 days, just sucking in dry air, so it hasn't been able to intensify. Now, 40 miles an hour, minimal tropical storm, moving west at 10, and it's about 700 miles east-southeast of where I'm standing in Hilo. The forecast track takes it near here.
Fox Weather's Brian Norcross. America is listening to Fox News.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil, One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome back. YouTube live chat poll for today. Are you invested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Karoline Clark, transgender player, blah, blah, blah storyline? Yes, no, or more than you thought you'd be. Go vote at youtube.com/@AnnieFrey, F-R-E-Y, and our live broadcast today. There's a live chat with every live broadcast, and there's a poll every day that we love to have your participation in. Go subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And then every day when we go live, you'll get a notification. You can go log in, click on your vote in the YouTube poll, and move about the cabin. Also, we have a text line, and this text line is a whole host of, we use it for a whole host of things. Really, anything you text us, it does come in. And it's 314-241-9797. Did anyone text things that they wanted to hear you say? Did you get any of those?
I don't know.
I mean,
maybe some of them were things they wanted me to say, and I didn't know that's what they were.
And you ignored them?
Yeah, I might have.
You really have to figure out how to get Ryan's attention over there.
Yeah. And grasp my voice. Grab the...
What's up with your voice?
I was trying to say grab or grasp, but I got caught between them.
Grabs.
You got to find, as a writer,
your tone
in your text, you have to find the tone with which I would read something and the context of which I would read something. Content.
How many siblings do you have, Ryan?
1.
Older, younger?
Younger.
Brad?
2.
Older, younger?
Both younger.
So you're both the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a middle child. That'll come as a surprise to some, but probably not most.
What does that tend to mean?
I was going to ask you what it means to you. What's a middle child to you?
Well, just according to the Brady Bunch and the Brady Bunch movies,
which is science,
it is the overlooked child. Because everybody fawns over the firstborn and
Martha.
the baby. Yeah. But that's all I know is from Jan Brady. Literally, that's it.
Which is really your source of information for, strangely, a lot of things.
Yeah.
This is particularly helpful.
Yeah.
Arena.
Like when you said nuclear football earlier, I was thinking, oh, my nose.
Brad, what are your thoughts on what's a middle child?
Stereotypically, they get lost. They feel like they get lost, and so they tend to act out a little bit.
I love the memes. They're like, it's middle children's day, but you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And they're like randomly uploaded. I don't know that there probably is. There's a day for everything. But I feel like when it's Middle Children Day, it's not the same day all the time. So I think even either the middle children are that passive aggressive, or nobody knows when the day is, and they're trying to make it happen, and nobody cares. What about the oldest child? Stereotypes of oldest children.
Alphas. They go after everything. Usually very wise.
So what's your excuse?
That's an inappropriate question for the air. That should have been asked off air.
Why are you smiling so much? Do that dance, that Luda dance again with your shoulders. Oh, God, it's so strange.
It's totally a rap dance, though, obviously.
Totally.
Any serious answers to this question? Or
Well, they do tend to be, as the stereotype would go, they tend to be achievers, and they're kind of I don't want to say the favorite, but the one that the parents look to kind of carry on the name, the legacy a little bit more.
Brad, you're an oldest.
Yeah.
What's your perception of how, your perception of the perception of oldest?
I think there's also, this might sound weird to Ryan, but there's also a perception.
Most things do.
There's also a perception that the oldest can be somewhat quiet, not easygoing, but more reserved.
Ryan, what's your excuse?
That's a good question. I don't know.
But I think he's right in that idea that they have a way they like things to do. Parents look to them a lot more. They expect them to be grown up, to be the mature one, to be the example for the other kids and that sort of thing.
I consider the oldest the stereotypical role of the oldest child in a clinical sense is a little bit of the overachiever, the one who is supposed to be a reliable one, maybe one who's a little bit more of a go-getter in the sense that they have probably often it's weird because there's a lot of attention that's paid to the oldest because they're the first. So I 100% like when Charlie was born, I was 25 years old. Jared was 26, and he was our first kid. He was my parents' first grandbaby. He was Jared's parents' first grandbaby. He was the first baby with all of our friends. He was the first baby. And so we all just sat and stared at him and waited for him to do something cool, like go, ooh. And we were like, oh, that's just adorable. Did you see that? Did you get a picture? And now it's like, where's Molly? Where did she go? Mm-hmm. And she's as happy as can be about it. And you think back when you're on number 4, and you're raising number 4, you do repeatedly laugh at yourself for how you handled number 1, but you don't know what you don't know. And if I had as much time and attention to give to Molly at 5, I would do the same thing with her. I just don't, because she has to share her time with her parents and with her family with 3 other siblings who have busier schedules than she does. I find it to be really, really interesting with Molly, who's like the baby. She's like the stereotypical baby of the family. In a bigger family, she definitely fights to earn people's attention. She's really smart and funny. But that's how she achieves our attention. Like, it's not just there waiting for her like it was for Charlie. Molly is hilarious in that capacity. And Charlie is actually kind of quieter. And he doesn't push to seek out people's attention. The reason I bring this up is Fox News has an article from Chloe Quill. It says the birth order is linked to 150 health conditions in a study of 10 million American siblings.
Dang, that's a huge study.
Your birth order might predicate specific conditions that you have with your health just because of where you were born in the birth order. Fox News senior medical analyst Dr. Mark Siegel analyzes a study of 10 million children, indicating that birth order shapes health risks. Firstborn siblings show higher rates of ADHD and autism, while secondborn children face increased risks for migraines. Siegel talked about this on Fox News. Whether someone is the older or younger sibling may be linked to certain health outcomes later in life, according to this massive new study, analyzing medical data from 10 million United States siblings over 2 decades. Because, you are talking about, okay, this is your birth order, but how does it manifest in your health long term? Researchers from the University of Chicago and Columbia University found links suggesting that birth order may be connected to specific long-term risks. Researchers examined 569 disease categories across families and among siblings, identifying 150 conditions that were significantly associated with birth order. It goes back into the details here. Firstborn children showed a higher likelihood of neurodevelopmental and psychiatric diagnoses, including autism, ADHD, Tourette's, and OCD, as well as immune allergic conditions like food allergies. I also want to reiterate here that the study was like, what kind of health problems will you have? So this isn't like, there are a lot of really positive, non-negative attributes that you can attribute to birth order. This article is just specifically on health conditions that might be tipped off. Second-born children are statistically more prone to migraines, shingles, substance abuse disorders, and gastrointestinal issues like gastritis. I'm a migraine sufferer and have been my whole life. And I am the second-born. I find that to be kind of interesting. Weird. Let's see here what else it says. Siegel said, I love the study because it opens a lot of questions more than it gives answers, but I think some have answers. I mean, these are types of things that you can understand, like if you're under certain types of stressors or not under certain types of stressors, you might be exposed to handling particular situations differently. And, oldest children, would you agree with this, because you're both oldest, that oldest children, probably depends on your parents, you do have the burden of untested expectations. The expectations that I have for my youngest kids are very, very cultivated from the expectations I had with my first kid or first kids.
Well, that would lead to the thing you said about OCD. First kids have more OCD because they're expected to manage more things. They're expected to achieve more, maybe. And more pressure means that they got to keep things a little more organized. But the interesting thing is, all of this would have to be in nature versus nurture. It would have to all be nurture. So you're talking about biological conditions.
Not necessarily.
That come about because of nurture. How would it be nature?
Regarding the heightened prevalence of ADHD among firstborns, Dr. Siegel offered his own hypothesis about parental behavior. He says, my theory, they get more stimuli. The parents are like hovering over them, helicoptering them, and they don't know where to look. So they're figuring out less on their own because the parents are doting. So that's absolutely the nurture part of it. But then he goes into saying, addressing the disparities in allergic conditions, Siegel pointed to early environmental exposure, stating, I think it's because the firstborn's immune system hasn't seen the environment before and it's not set properly. You get an allergy. It also goes on to say, I think the womb changes after you have your first child, and the second child gets a womb that's already been used. So therefore, it's more set for it. And do you know that there is, I'm not going to say the science right, but the biology of all of my children is in my biology right now. I have markers in my human body that are specific to my 4 children. So if you're kid number 4, the experience you have with your mother's womb is not just your mother's experience, it's her experience of creating 3 other humans that came before you. And that womb that Molly was grown in had been used 3 times to do such a thing before she was there.
This article is probably not going to dive into the science of it, but I would be interested to know how they are specifically saying the womb has changed that would alter the biology of the child enough to be like, yes, you are going to have migraines more.
But again,
possibly.
Well, I think that was specifically talking to like exposure to allergens, the way the mother's body is more presented after having other children that is more accustomed to that growth experience. But then it also goes to the suggestion that second-born children might be more prone to substance abuse. This Fox News article says, regarding the higher rate of substance use disorders among second-born children, Dr. Siegel suggested emotional drivers, saying, quote, it may be the same idea. I want attention. I'm looking for attention. I want to do something to get a rise out of you. So that is that middle child, hey, over here.
Did it go into the, like, if there are 3 children or more, did it go into the 3rd or 4th child, or is it just do 1st and 2nd?
I'm sure that the actual research, the data absolutely does, but this article here on Fox News pretty much goes firstborn and secondborn. Mm-hmm. Because I think that really, like, you're a firstborn or you're not. Secondborn, thirdborn, fourthborn, in my family's case, there are a lot of things that they probably have in common, that the unique experience among all of those really is being the only one.
I would think, too, though, that if you're the baby of the family and you're the 3rd or 4th or whatever, and there's a large gap between you and your next closest sibling, that would also be a big driver in a lot of the nurture stuff, because you will be treated differently. Yeah. No doubt about it.
There are a lot of people who have a few kids and then time goes by and they're like, oh, we'd really like to have another one. Or the oopsie that
Yeah.
comes along later in life. And while I've got 4 siblings, you're being raised as an only child. Especially later on in life when your parents probably likely have way more means.
That's got to be really interesting because you're not only being raised kind of as an only child, but you're also getting that lackadaisical parent. So you're kind of being the first and the last at the same time.
Lackadaisical because of the experience, because of the age. But again, I really think that the finances are always better down the road. Like how much money won't make you happy, but it will make things easier. And certainly when it comes to parenting as well. Interesting article there on foxnews.com by Chloe Quill. Ethan, Sports and Local next.
Like yourself. Victory Men's Health specializes in hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, and longevity. It's built for everyday men who just want to feel better and perform their best. They already have offices in Town and Country, Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. They're about to open a new location in Glen Carbon very soon. It's a higher standard of care just waiting for you. Learn more at victorymenshealth.com. If you like that comfortable setting to hang out where people know your name, check out Lit Cigar Lounge. My friends at Lit Cigar Lounge are fantastic. Brian and Dana and Andrew and Charlie and Nick and all of them down there are going to get to know you by name because it is a family-run business in the Chesterfield Valley and the district. They've got an extensive selection of bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails and some of the best hand-rolled cigars from around the world. Check them out at the district or go online to litstl.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis conservative.
His hair hasn't read anything.
Oh.
Doesn't even know how to read.
Hi, Ethan.
I don't know why I keep coming back to this.
Yeah, you do. You get paid.
Yeah, you have to. Ha We
Trisha,
have you.
man.
The things that I do for money.
Yeah, it's sick.
Sometimes it just makes me feel so terrible about myself. Just gross.
Yeah, all those intros.
Sitting next to you, Ryan. That's what he's talking
all
about.
those intros, I just keep making them. I'm like, yeah, you're going to take it and you're going to like it because we're paying you.
Onward!
You want your money or not?
As if Ryan has anything to do with the money that is getting paid to you.
Well, he doesn't know that, though.
Sports and local?
The Cardinals won 7-1 yesterday, defeating the Philadelphia Phillies.
1 over 500?
1 game over 500
Winning
now.
team in August?
Sure.
Say it.
Is that a thing?
It's
What's
August.
August 13th? Oh, I thought you meant like our record in August.
We're
a winning
team in August. I don't think that was in the
cards. We are doing wins. Yes, we are.
Beginning of the season.
61 and 60 now, only 2.5 games behind the Phillies in the wild card race. So that's big. That's a huge series win. That's back-to-back series win. It's for the Redbirds now. They will face off against the Chicago Cubs this weekend at Wrigley in a massive series coming up. So, the deeper into the year you could play meaningful baseball, the better it is for these guys.
Cubs still good?
The Cubs are still good. It's going to be a tough series, but you know what? The Phillies were really good too. We just beat Zach Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez, two of the best pitchers in baseball. So we'll see what happens. Let's just keep on riding the wave. It's going to be an interesting theme in the remainder of sports and local. It wasn't planned.
Okay.
I just go where the stories tell me to go, Ryan.
Like a journalist.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're not an agenda journalist.
And, these stories, what would the overlying theme be? Highways and animals.
Uh-oh.
That's where the theme is.
Is this story about you hitting a raccoon or a moose or
Sounds
something?
bloody.
Well, that was going to be the outro one, but thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate you. I guess we'll start with that. No, this first one happening on the other side of the state, but the Sea Lion Splash Show has now been canceled at the Missouri State Fair following a crash early Thursday morning.
No.
According to the Missouri Highway State Patrol, one of the troopers responded to a one-vehicle crash shortly after 3 a.m. on Thursday on I-70 near the 133-mile marker in Boone County. The tractor-trailer struck a concrete barrier while transporting the 3 sea lions
Are
to
they
the
okay?
Missouri State Fair.
Is the driver okay?
What about the sea lions?
I don't know. I think we go humans first, but
Pause for effect.
We'll just see where the journalism takes us.
The State Fair announced that multiple people were injured in a crash, forcing the show to cancel its 10-day run. No fatalities were reported. However, several people were hurt. The number of people and the types of injuries have not yet been released. The sea lions were immediately taken to a veterinarian office and evaluated. According to the Missouri State Fair, they are all in excellent health.
That's
so
amazing.
Glad that there's, obviously no fatalities. The sea lions are in good condition, but no show at the Missouri State Fair involving the sea lions.
Can you imagine how scared those sea lions would have been? Not only were they in an accident, but they were also in a truck.
Ryan,
and they don't know what those even are.
Can you, you're thinking about it. Can you just kind of walk us through what that would be like?
Sonically? All right. Hey, Pete, where are we? And now this is Pete talking. I don't know. It's really dark in here, but at least we have all the water. And then, oh, wait, what is this? And then the other guy's like, dude, Pete, you need to chill out. You are always overdoing it. You are like the most anxious sea lion I've ever seen. And then,
there was 3 of them. So who's the third one?
The third. Oh, there was 3?
Yeah.
The
Marla?
third one's the quiet one.
Oh, okay.
That one's named George Harrison. And then... So the other 2 are still talking, and the dude's like, dude, you amp up everything. And he's like, no, I think this was a really serious one. Where are we? What even is this?
This is all pre-crash.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
We're sure these sea lions are
This
not
is
dead,
just them
right?
freaking out about being in the truck.
Yeah. It's going to be scary if you're not used to it.
But then boom, boom, crash, roll over. And then the other dude,
George Harrison.
Pete, I think Pete.
Oh, Pete.
Was like, then he's like, I told you this was going to happen. And the other 2 were like, well, okay, yeah, you did.
And that was all that George Harrison said the entire time.
George Harrison did not speak at all.
He's just, go with the flow.
He was just railing
Literally.
about taxes the whole time in his head.
In his head. Got
Yeah.
it. In
I
his
can't
head.
wait to see where this theme takes us, Ethan. Go on.
A truck hauling thousands of bees buzzed through the St. Louis area this week. No need to worry. It's a part of a routine agriculture operation. However, Tuesday morning, the Chesterfield Police Department spotted a transportation moving a large number of bees and beehives on a long trailer bed of a semi-truck. Professional beekeepers often move colonies to orchards and agricultural areas during pollination seasons. While spring is typically the busiest season for bees as pollinators, many crops still rely on bee colonies during the summer months. It's not unusual for trucks to transport the bees, but seeing them on the road during the daytime, as the Chesterfield police did, is a little bit less common. The experts say that bees are typically moved during cooler overnight hours when necessary because they are less active and more likely to remain inside of their hives. On Tuesday, it appears the truck hauling bees pulled over for a time with hundreds to thousands of bees swarming above their hives, secured to the trailer with heavy-duty straps. So obviously this was like planned and everything, but I mean, can you imagine just driving along the road and seeing just like bees just flying, following this truck? That would be a little trippy. Not my scenery personally, not a fan of things that sting.
Ryan?
Yeah, the conversation between the bees would have been thus. Hey, Pete. There's also a Pete in the bees.
What are the odds?
This is a different Pete than the sea lion.
Yeah, and then the other guy's named John Lennon. And John says to Pete, he's like, I've been thinking about somebody a lot. I got somebody on my mind. And Pete's like, who? You interested in somebody? He's like, yeah, the Queen. He's like, dude, that's who I'm interested in. And then they're like, oh, crap, what are we going to do? They're both interested in the Queen,
Uh-huh.
And so they kind of fight a little bit, and then they go, you know what? Maybe we could all just kind of share. She's pretty big.
Turns out it was just Freddie Mercury.
Right. So, anyway.
Ethan? No?
What am I supposed to do after that?
Be a professional, Ethan. Come on, bring it back.
All right.
Bring it to the
this
center.
one's a little more serious, guys.
Serious than that? What's more serious than that?
Animal control officers in O'Fallon, Missouri are currently investigating after 4 guinea pigs were found abandoned along a busy highway near Interstate 64.
Can I ask a stupid question? Are guinea pigs found in the wild? Can you, come across a hamster in a jungle?
I think they were made by labs and for labs.
Are they?
I don't know.
According to
nobody's going to even attempt to answer.
I guarantee you one thing. One of those guinea pigs is named Pete.
Okay.
It is now.
The other one's named Ringo Starr. According to a spokesperson for the O'Fallon Police Department, the animals were dumped along Highway N near Hawk Ridge Trail in Lake St. Louis. On August 9th, a Good Samaritan discovered 4 guinea pigs inside 2 plastic exercise balls along the highway. I'm sorry, this isn't funny, but
You just literally said this was going to be serious. I thought we had to...
Yeah, now you're
I'm
laughing.
just imagining them
Were
they
clear?
Moving along the plastic balls.
This is how you find them in the wild.
Yeah, that's how they naturally are born.
All right, this is where it takes a serious turn.
waiting.
3 of the 4 guinea pigs had died at this point.
Oh.
The 4th was brought to a veterinarian and is recovering, the police said. Police said O'Fallon was under an extreme heat warning on August 9th. Temperatures above 95 degrees. They got really hot in those plastic balls really quickly. Anyone with information on the investigation is asked to contact the city's animal control office. So I don't know what's going on in St. Louis with animals on the highway, but what
We're on it.
We also don't really know what the whole Beatles name connection has to do with any of this as well. But there's I have a feeling that some of this might be connected.
I thought that Ryan would just whoop like a seal. I didn't know that it was going to be a
full-on
soliloquy,
intellectual conversation between members of the Beatles.
But you never really do know, do we? Annie, are you okay with Trisha in studio next? Don't go away. Stewart's American Mortgage is the place to go if you have a new home to purchase, if you have a home mortgage that you want to refi, you want to get some of that cash out of your home and do it without having to shovel up a whole bunch of payments and closing costs. Well, Stewie is going to take care of that for you with the Bagel Loan. Call Stewie, text him. This is his direct line on his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Ask Stewie about the Bagel Loan and tell him Andy sent you. If you are thinking about getting a new home purchase, though, a 30-year loan right now with Stewart's American Mortgage, you can take advantage of an opportunity that he's offering you for a limited time. You can get a 1% discount on your interest rate for the first year of that 30-year loan. You got to call Stewie or text him and talk to him about how to get set up. And I'm telling you what, he can close very quickly. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan to find out any more information you might want to know. NMLS number 226715.
You'll hear true stories that will intrigue you, inspire you, and make you laugh.
He said, is there anything
and your diet that might be spiking your blood sugar. I said, sometimes I eat pizza until I'm unconscious. He said, I think that might be it.
For real stories live on stage from comedians, astronauts, accountants, farmers, and people just like you, follow and listen to The Moth wherever you get your podcasts.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm in the air conditioning business. I don't advertise that much. I was leaving a customer's home and I was out in Illinois, and as I was driving away, my fan for my air conditioner went out. I had to cross back over into St. Louis where there was bridge construction, so massive rush hour, backed up traffic, windows down, sweating. I had to take it straight to the dealership to drop it off because there's no way I can function, much less work, without air conditioning in my truck. And I'm the same way in my house, and every homeowner, not every homeowner, but most homeowners are the exact same way. So if you're experiencing difficulties with your air conditioner, meaning you have none, call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois. Call me. God bless.
Heartburn. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing is worse than heartburn after a long day. When you're finally off the clock, dinner's done, feet kicked up, kids asleep, and boom, heartburn tries to steal the moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. The effervescent tablets start neutralizing acid in seconds, so you can sit back, relax, and unwind from your day. Next time heartburn hits,
quick, Alka-Seltzer.
Use as directed.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I want to thank my friend Mr. Kill for his text. First name Buzz.
We could. Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know if you could trust a guy named Mr. Kill, but I didn't know I was interrupting a joke.
The
I
text
apologize.
says the Queen is
Bad
their mom.
broadcaster.
They transport seals in crates and not tanks, and guinea pigs are wild in New Guinea.
Duh.
Thank you.
Does it say duh at the end of it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, that was my line then.
Yeah, it was.
Duh.
Yep. Thank you very much. It is 2:34. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98.
Oh, it's fun because we have Trisha in here, and we all heard earlier in the show how much Ryan can't stand her.
Oh, is that right?
No.
Because
No.
Trisha did not hear that.
You didn't hear that?
Well, this is a great
Didn't
time.
exist.
Let's tell you,
Visit.
Trisha, we have a podcast, and you can subscribe to the podcast anywhere you get podcasts. Just look up Annie Frey Show and listen to Ryan talk trash.
Just listen to the last 2.5 hours. You don't have to listen to the rest of the show. You'll hear
We've only
that.
been on for 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, just a quick
You
glance.
talk trash the whole time?
No, not at all. Like during Hans von Spakovsky, I said almost nothing about you.
Almost nothing.
In his office by himself.
Hans, I know this is about you, but Trisha.
Don't you hate her?
I don't actually remember what
Hans
you
is
said
like,
specifically, but it was like direct and to the point.
Wow.
I think you said you couldn't stand her.
The only time he's ever been direct and to the point.
She said something really, really mean, and I just agreed. I said, I can't stand her.
That's not it.
Yeah.
It's a tough room.
I know. I had to ding it because it was true.
All right. Well, it's nice to see everyone. Yeah. Hello, Annie and crew. I had a dream the other night.
Ooh.
And the whole dream was me coming into this room. Annie wasn't here. And I think Ryan and Brad were like, all right, Trisha, Annie, are you okay? And I was like, hello, Annie and crew. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Annie's not here. I can't believe I just said that.
Gosh,
So embarrassing.
St.
And then I
Louis.
woke up and I was like, wow, I'm so glad that didn't happen on the radio.
Cold
Then
sweat.
here we are.
Yeah.
Telling St. Louis what you didn't do.
All right. Annie, are you okay? Arkansas football player finds venomous snake inside helmet. A high school football player in Arkansas noticed movement inside his helmet during practice and alerted his coaches. They discovered a roughly 2-foot-long venomous cottonmouth hiding beneath the padding.
Wow. Where are these helmets stored?
I have, it's a great question. Maybe a shed, but could you imagine if it was his bedroom? That just the snake got in there.
No, it's so scary.
The snake was safely removed after it hung out for the practice and relocated, and the player is fine. Annie, are you okay with Arkansas?
Yeah. Arkansas is great. Great governor. I'm trying to think of what state. I feel like Arkansas is even a little more Missouri than Missouri is to Illinois. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I almost feel like Arkansas could be Missouri's Missouri.
Now it doesn't.
We've regressed. I am following.
Yeah.
Without being disrespectful, there is a level of.
If you're from Illinois, you look at Missouri and you're like, God dang it, they got some things going on over there. I wish that we could have just a fraction of that common sense over here. And I just think that Arkansas is doing a great job. I don't think that Missouri's deficit to Arkansas is Illinois' deficit to Missouri, but it's just like that neighbor. It's the grass is kind of greener type of thing.
You're saying it in the positive. I think Tricia was saying it in the negative.
I was thinking in more of a little more country.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
A little bit rock and roll.
A little bit, not a little less
Just
rock and roll and more.
Bill Clinton.
More country.
Yeah.
Twang.
Right. A little more Donnie, a little less.
I think Arkansas is great. I think Arkansas.
Marie.
I was going to say Cher. That wasn't even close.
Put that in the Ryan's a Sexist column folder in HR there. I think Arkansas is kind of it seems to me like it's a really well-kept secret. I think it's a really well-run state. And in a kind of Midwest, I would assume Arkansas would consider themselves to be Southern, probably.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's no other way to classify that.
No, they're not on Mountain Time.
Okay. You can't be from the South.
They're a Pacific state.
I just think that they're just kind of quietly minding their own business and doing a really good job at it. I like Arkansas.
Goose saves family from fire.
Just like
what about
the lassie.
Maverick? Wait, you can't do jokes at the same time. Gosh, you go after me.
Do yours.
What about Maverick?
They should have called it Lassie.
Oh, but
Mine was better the second time.
Guys, they were both so good, equally good. Good joke telling. Mm-hmm. A Texas family says they're.
Thanks, Mom. That was more of a grandma compliment.
You guys are both really funny.
Like you guys look like idiots, but I still love you, like a grandma would tell you.
A Texas family says their pet goose, Goosey, may have saved their lives.
Come on, guys. Why not Pete?
Sounding the alarm when a barn caught fire. The family was sleeping when Goosey's repeated honking alerted them, allowing the owner to grab a hose and put out the flames.
Ryan, how would that go?
The goose is putting out a fire?
The goose is alarming people, so I want to know, take us there. Take us into the moment. The goose is there, there's fire, and the goose is ready.
I will, only because I'm really good at this. So I'm actually going to give you the perspective of the little boy. He's like, Goosey's trying to tell us something. And the dad comes in. And he's like, oh, gosh, Goosey's, he's telling us about the fire. We already know about the fire. There's a giant fire on our property. Why isn't Goosey holding a hose?
So you think that the family was aware of the fire, and upset with Goosey?
Yeah.
I gave Ryan an opportunity now to act like a third animal, like a goose. And he not only didn't do that, he completely flipped the story to tell us what the humans said.
Mm-hmm.
And
so much not fun.
Was. Yeah.
They were disappointed with the goose. They're trying to deal with a fire, and this goose is just incessantly honking.
Definitely disappointment.
Okay, so I literally just reported they're very thankful to this goose because he woke them up.
Ryan isn't. He thinks the goose is the villain.
They got the animals out of the barn unharmed, and the family is calling, and I quote, Goosey their little hero.
Man, we screwed that story up.
It's on paper.
What's the matter with you, Ryan? What's the absolute matter with you?
I'll give you that possibly the goose alerted the other animals.
It's not up to you.
And that possibly the cow was like, what's Goosey doing? He's really honking today. Maybe
Ryan,
we should consider
Ryan,
that there's a fire somewhere.
What would that sound like?
The cow? Okay, so the cow turns to his buddy He goes,
Quit.
Pete, I'm not sure what Goosey's doing, but he's acting strange. And it's hot at my rear.
Okay. Turn around.
Is it possible that you and I can turn around? No, it's
Look
been
over
pretty
your
tight.
shoulder.
Well, maybe we should try to interpret the honkings.
The what?
The honkings.
What do those honkings sound like, Ryan?
I don't know.
Annie, are you okay with geese?
No.
I'm not. I don't like geese.
I'm a cougar in the
I like the
in the SIU Edwardsville sense. And if you have ever driven on that campus or walked on that campus, you have been offended by a goose.
Yeah.
Without question. There are just many of them.
right.
There are so many of them.
That's right.
But if they're helpful like this, I mean, maybe they should be in part of the SIUE fire department or
telling
something.
you what, that family was mad. They said, oh, we're here trying to fight a fire, and what's Goosey doing? He's just taking a dump all over it.
Goosey, they're a little hero.
One more story.
Sure.
Hope it's about animals.
Let me see what else I got. Naked woman takes a stolen fire truck on a wild late night ride.
Where?
Wisconsin.
Oh,
a Wisconsin woman is accused of stealing
is
a
it
fire
hung?
truck.
She bored?
From Pleasant. I think she was drunk. A Wisconsin woman is accused of
Let's
stealing
not
a
assume.
fire truck from a. Let me tell this story and then I'll tell you. We can decide why. Pleasant Prairie Station and taking it for a late night naked ride. Police say Emily Fair made several strange radio transmissions during the roughly hour-long joyride, including asking someone named Brennan if they had food.
She's a Russian spy.
What kind of food? What did that sound like,
Brennan,
Ryan?
do you have the food? I don't have clothes. Sacre bleu.
I think
It's
that
Russian.
that was a French Arnold Schwarzenegger. What? What's the question?
I was going to ask if you were okay with fire trucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super.
Yeah, we love fire trucks. Thanks for asking.
I mean, the end of the story is they caught her and she's in trouble. But
Not sure how you
Did
catch
she-
that.
I wonder if she harmed the fire truck at all. Like, did she return it in good order?
they didn't say. Eventually, the officers stopped her at a public works garage, and she now faces a charge of operating a vehicle without the owner's consent. That seems like a light
that
sentence.
seems soft.
That seems
She must have been
seems
hot.
like not enough. Well, she was very
Ryan.
naked, so they were probably like, "All right,
The guys are
all
like, yeah.
right, this
Oh
is
my
citation."
All right.
All right.
Now, don't do it again, but if you do, let us know.
Here's how it needs to go. Oh my gosh. Trisha, thank you for being in here. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, most of us do.
I do.
Why
I've
don't you tell it
really
to-
come around.
Tell it to her over the air here. You mean you've come around since the noon hour?
Yeah.
Since Hans's interview.
All right, let's get the results to today's YouTube live chat poll when we return. Are you invested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark, transgender player storyline? Yes, no, or more than I thought I'd be? Those results before we wrap and hand it over to Mark Reardon coming up next.
th from 5 to 9 a.m. at Chickenelli's in Eureka. We're raising funds for Focus Marines Foundation. Proceeds go straight to supporting our veterans. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal. where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Here's a great offer from my friends at Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean for $119. That's $106 in savings. You know Zero Res, the zero residue carpet cleaner. Mark Cox here. Listen, they leave your carpets truly clean with none of that dirt-attracting soap or harsh chemicals. Reach out today. This month, you're going to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $119. Call 314-474-2020 or visit ZeroResSTL.com.
This is Pete the Seal.
No. They were sea lions, first of all.
Whatever.
Sea lions are not born in rivers.
I don't know.
I do.
Pete, they want us to get in a truck.
What are you going to do about it? I don't know. I guess I'll go.
What
That's
does
where
one
all
do?
the fish are.
Man, what an hour
Yeah.
of a lot of content there, guys. Great job. Especially you, Ethan.
Yep, Ethan, you did a great job.
And
that
Trisha.
last segment without you.
How come all of the people who come in to help us do content so that we don't have to do the work, you're so hostile towards?
I don't know. It's fun.
Okay, because it's a hobby.
Because there's not really anybody I can talk down to who's below me. But Ethan kind of is, you know. I can
Ethan
kinda
is
keep
below
it-
you?
Yeah, I can
He's
keep him
about
in that
4
role.
inches taller than you.
Well, he's taller than me in stature, but I'm taller than him in substance.
Should try a peptide. So I want to talk about the YouTube live chat poll. And I know we've got more feedback from listeners on the 314-241-9797 Annie Frey Show text line, as well as Annie Frey YouTube live chat. The poll is, are you invested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark, transgender player storyline? Yes, no, or more than I thought I'd be. I'm a yes. I think that's pretty obvious. Brad, what's your personal reaction to this?
My personal reaction is more than I thought I'd be. This has gotten wildly entertaining to me. So
Entertaining?
Oh, yes, very much so. Like whenever those, what was it, Enos Kanter Freedom and Royce White said, I'm declaring for the WNBA, I was like,
popcorn
time, here we go. And then it was all entertainment from there.
Ryan?
I agree. Yeah, it's more entertaining. No, it's not even entertaining. It's more interesting than I thought it'd be because it's not just that stuff. That stuff is what makes me go,
Yeah.
ooh, okay, now I want to watch. But the basketball itself has become such a bloodbath that you're like, what the heck, man? You got to do something about it. The league has to do something about it, regardless of the politics at play.
I have to say, too, though, I don't know if you've watched much girls basketball, but that's how girls play basketball. It's not just the WNBA. That's how girls play basketball.
Well, is every time a girl's face flagrantly fouled called in girls basketball?
I
is
would
that
say,
like, nah, it's just part of the game?
I would say at the high school level, I mean, a huge problem here is the officiating. At the high school level, I think it does get called. I think people take that more seriously. But my exposure to girls basketball at the middle school level, even when it is competitive, is that it very rapidly drops off with people who are there to officiate a basketball game. I cannot tell you how many times I've had conversations with officials before basketball games that I was coaching or helping with in some capacity. And they have this like kind of shoulder shrug, oh, it's girls. If I call that, if I call this, I'll have to call everything. And it's like, that's not it. If it is a foul, you have to call the foul. And if the girls are too aggressive and they don't adapt to you saying you can't maul one another in the first quarter, then everybody fouls out and we all go home.
Yeah.
But they at a younger level, they pull back on enforcing rules because in their mind they think that they're going to have to blow their whistle all the time, when really it's the actual exact opposite of it. Call it early, set a tone. They'll play cleaner. They're capable of it. They're athletes. But I'm going to tell you what, by the fourth quarter, if you've been slugging it out the whole time, one of my jobs as an assistant coach was Band-Aids because people be bleeding all the time. If you let it get that way to the fourth quarter, people are going to give back what they've been getting, and it's not a good situation. But I think officiating at younger ages, but also for girls, is not taken as seriously as boys, and it creates that atmosphere. And I think that those girls have been playing that kind of basketball probably their whole lives.
Little side quest here, but growing up with kids in soccer and having gone to, from mostly local tournaments to a national tournament here or there, you find out that people and soccer players, even at the same ages, in different parts of the country play differently. And so we are actually considered pretty tame in the Midwest.
Midwest is tamer?
Compared to the way they play in, the South and Texas. They play much more physical. Florida.
That tracks with more than just...
Yeah.
Not even outside. I'm saying outside of sports.
Yeah. And
it's like a Midwest nice.
And oddly enough, and I don't know if I'm generalizing here, this has just been my experience, is that the teams from the West Coast, which we didn't see a lot of, that's a long travel to get to some of these tournaments, but the teams from the West Coast, they played even softer than we did. And so...
Also not surprising.
Yeah, I know. New England, I can't tell you. I don't really remember. But anyway...
Were you too drunk?
I was trashed on White Claws. They're like, you got a reputation. I'm like, all right, pour it down my gullet. So I would say more than I thought I'd be to this poll, because I have zero interest in the WNBA. I do not care. But when these
Do you have any interest in the NBA?
No. When these stories happen, you'll play a clip or something. I'll listen, and all of a sudden, man, I'm engaged.
Yeah.
Like that clip you played yesterday, that coach from the Fever, I didn't care going into that. But by the end of it, I very much cared.
Why? Because she told you to go to hell?
Well, she made a big deal out of something that I was vaguely aware of. And I'm like, dude, this story keeps unfolding now.
Let's get to the text line and the YouTube chat. Ryan, give me a text message here from our Annie Frey Show text line.
I'll give you two. This one says, it's a no for me, dog. The next one says, Trucking Joe here.
Hey, what's Hong Kong?
I don't know. Yeah, we were doing Hong Kong the other day. We can do that here. Trucking Joe here. He says, I'm absolutely on board and engaged with everything that's going on with Caitlin Clark and Sophie. Somebody has to stand up and be the voice. I don't know where all the women are. Far too many of them are being quiet.
Arturus Rex on the YouTube chat says, not sure what invested means, but interested? Yeah, more than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
And then Colonel Ripper says, I said more than I thought it'd be, but that's still very little. And then
so basically not none.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Rhonda says, I chose more than I thought because of the most recent trans ladies coming forward to enter the WNBA draft. Strong, brave women standing up for women.
One more text here says, the Cunningham story is deeply uninteresting. Just a culture war debate drummed up by Republicans to distract from a weak economy, the cost of living, and the war in Iran being a disaster.
One of my favorite things, what I'm most proud of on this show is that guy listens.
Yes, he does.
Thank you. Genuinely. Very grateful. When I give you the results here, what percentage saying no should push off us talking about this anymore? Like, we could talk about if there's a major break, but...
I just have to cut it down the middle and say 50%. If less than or if more than half of the audience doesn't care about it, then that should tell us.
Well, we'll have the results in here. Are you invested in the Sophie Cunningham, WNBA, Caitlin Clark, transgender player storyline? When I wrote this question last night, I thought to myself, did I get it all? Because you might be interested in one and not so much the other, but it is all wrapped up in the same vein. 45% said no. So this is kind of where I thought we might be. It's almost 50-50, but not quite. 26% said yes, and 29% of you are more than you thought you would be, so it's kind of growing on you. So it is a pretty split 50-50, close to it here on the Annie Frey Show. Don't go away. Mark Reardon Show next on 97.1 FM Talk.